You're in Konoha, and you call these ninja tools? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 326 Itachi's Traces. Really? If that's the case, I can't fall behind. Sasuke's fighting spirit seemed to be aroused when he heard this. He didn't hesitate anymore. He went to train directly. Looking at Sasuke's back, Tianyu sighed silently. Then he returned to Konoha. Lord Tianyu. Tianyu wanted to talk to Orochimaru about Sasuke's situation. After all, Itachi might have left Sasuke now, going to other places. But before Tianyu could find Orochimaru, Hashigaki Kisame walked to Tianyu's side. Is there anything wrong? Kisame. Tianyu looked at Hashigaki Kisame. Since Hashigaki Kisame joined Konoha, he has also been on several missions. Later, he was released from prison by Tsunade. Now Hashigaki Kisame can also be regarded as a ninja of Konoha, but because of his strong strength, he often goes out to perform missions alone. Now he is living a good life in Konoha. At least it is much better than the Akatsuki organization. I want to ask about Itachi. Has Itachi not been found yet? When Hashigaki Kisame was in Akatsuki, he and Itachi were considered partners. The relationship between the two of them was okay. They got along well. In addition, Itachi was very strong. Now that he knew that Itachi was actually an undercover sent by Konoha to Akatsuki, he still wanted to find Itachi. After all, there was still a fight between the two of them. Hashigaki Kisame always wanted to know whether he could win the battle or Itachi was stronger. No news yet. Tianyu shook his head. Alice, I still remember when Itachi and I were still in the Akatsuki organization. Because we both killed people of our own race, I felt a little similar to him at that time, and I asked him how it felt to kill his own people with my own hands. Because the reason why I killed my own people at that time was because they wanted to betray the village, but later I found out that the village was no longer the village I imagined, so I left the village and joined the Akatsuki organization. I also want to know what Itachi thinks, but at that time he just looked at me steadily without saying a word. At that time, I originally thought that he just didn't want to talk about this topic. Now I think he must be in pain in his heart. In the end, I can't understand him after all, but if this kind of thing happened to you, Lord Tianyu, what would you do? Hashigaki Kisame looked at Tianyu curiously and asked. If it were me, I would probably take my family away, and I wouldn't kill my parents, but to be honest, I haven't experienced this kind of thing after all, so it's hard to say. Maybe I would choose his approach. Tianyu smiled. Maybe, but I think that if it's Master Tianyu, you might have the best of both worlds. I've talked so much with Master Tianyu today, much more than before. I'm very grateful for giving me this opportunity to stay in Konoha, so I'll take my leave first. Hashigaki Kisame turned and left. Tianyu looked at the back of Hashigaki Kisame, and the next moment he received a message from Shisu. Find Itachi. There were only 6 words written on the letter, and their location was attached to the back. After seeing this, Tianyu called Hashigaki Kisame. Follow me if you have work to do. What? Hashigaki Kisame looked confused, probably because he didn't know what kind of work could require them to go together. Don't you want to compete with Itachi? I have already got news about him, and I can take you with me, but as for whether Itachi is willing to compete with you, it depends on you. Tianyu looked at him and said. Thank you, Lord Tianyu. Hashigaki Kisame never thought that his long-cherished wish would actually come true one day. He didn't even bother to go home, and followed Tianyu directly. Itachi's location is at the border of the land of rice. It seems that he was planning to leave after being discovered by Sasuke, and then he was blocked by Shisu who had been following him. Tianyu brought Hashigaki Kisame and came to the land of rice with the flying thunder god technique, and then continued to travel. Only then did they arrive at the border of the land of rice. It was here that Tianyu saw Itachi, whom he had not seen for a long time. At this time, Itachi's clothes were no longer the red cloud robe of the Akatsuki organization. Instead, it was an ordinary piece of clothes, like a businessman walking in the world. He even wore a bamboo hat on his head. It covered his appearance. There was no mark of the Uchiha clan behind him. It seemed that he did not intend to be recognized. Itachi, The injustice of the Uchiha clan has been cleared up now. The Uchiha clan is no longer a rebellious clan, but a framed clan. So if you return to Konoha now, everyone will not regard you as a traitor. Instead, they will respect you as before and even give you important positions. So, Itachi, come back with me. Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi and couldn't help persuading him. He knew Itachi's grievances. Because at that time, after knowing the situation of the clan, he also went to find Danzo. If it weren't for Tianyu's help at that time, maybe his eyes would have been taken away by Danzo. How could he be here today? He understood Itachi's choice very well. But now Sarutobi Hiruzen is dead, Danzo is dead, and everything has settled. Konoha is no longer the rotten Konoha of the past. Everything is developing in a good way. Konoha has even subsidized these framed clans. The houses belonging to the Uchiha clan have all been taken back. Especially Sasuke, he was accepted as a disciple by Orochimaru, one of the 3 ninjas. Everything is going well, and Konoha is thriving now. What reason does Itachi have not to go back? Brother Shisu, I'm glad you're still alive, but I can't go back. When I was in Akatsuki, I saw too much darkness in this world, and even agreed with their Moonai plan, but when they wanted to attack the village, I was caught in a dilemma. On one side is the village and my brother, and on the other side is Akatsuki. I didn't know what I could do, so I left Akatsuki and wandered around. During the time I was away, I traveled almost all over the 5 major countries. But all I saw was misery. Many ninja families were wiped out just because of a word from the person in power. Many people died tragically or were even wrongly accused. It was also caused by the darkness in people's hearts. Chapter 327 Itachi Uchiha's Traces. When a person dies, his relatives and family members want to avenge him, and the people on the other side also want to avenge him. This will lead to a vicious cycle that cannot be ended. I am grateful for everything Konoha has done for the Uchiha clan, and I am also grateful for the love of Amaji-sama for Sasuke, but I can't go back because I can no longer fit into such an environment. Everyone sees peace, but what I see is the danger under peace. Uchiha Itachi looked at Shiso and said expressionlessly. After all, if it was 2 years ago, he could leave the organization and return to Konoha. He would be very happy, and he would explain everything to Sasuke. But now his mind has changed, and therefore he can't go back. What are you talking about? There are so many tragic things happening in this world, but we have to look at the bright side after all, and I also believe that Takagi-sama and Amaji-sama can end everything. If we start working for a truly peaceful future from now on, then our descendants will sooner or later enjoy such a world. So, if we don't work hard, then why talk about peace? Shisu looked at Itachi. He didn't understand what Itachi had learned in the Akatsuki organization. Why were the people in that organization so crazy? You don't understand. Uchiha Itachi shook his head. I don't understand, but I also know that now that I have found you, I will never let you leave again. Even if I have to tie you up, I will take you back. Shisu looked at Itachi and began to get serious. He knew now. It seemed that it was impossible to bring Itachi back to Konoha by persuasion. Then there was only one choice left. Only after defeating Itachi, he could take him back. Thinking of this, Shisu no longer hesitated, and his eyes looking at Itachi became particularly firm. Itachi, I was your guy back then, and you treated me like a brother, and I also treated you as my dearest brother, but now I have to take action against you and take you back. I hope you don't mind. Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi and said slowly. No way, Shisu, after so many years, let me see how much your strength has grown. Uchiha Itachi remained calm. The next moment, an orange-yellow light appeared on Uchiha Itachi's body. In an instant, a giant skeleton appeared on the ground. This was the initial stage of Susanoo. Uchiha's body should have been unable to bear it. In order to use Susanoo, every cell in his body was suffering from severe pain all the time. Itachi might not be able to hold on. Itachi. Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi's actions. A hint of helplessness appeared in his eyes. The next moment, a giant green skeleton also appeared on his body. This was the ability of Shisu's main Gekyo Sharingan. Then go ahead. The Toroard. The 2 skeleton arms collided with each other in an instant. This collision made the surrounding ground tremble violently. The surrounding trees also fell to the ground because of their actions. Countless birds in the forest fled to the sky. The chakra power they emitted also made many wild animals flee outside. Boom. With each collision, sweat would seep out of Shisu's forehead. Obviously, Susanoo was a heavy burden for the two of them. It is almost unbearable. And if it is used too many times, it will cause blindness in both eyes. Tianyu and Hoshigaki Kisame have been watching the fight between the two of them in the bushes. When Tianyu saw Shisu and Uchiha Itachi manipulating Susanoo, if they are given a part of the Senju cells, it should greatly reduce the time for their main Gekyo Sharingan to go blind. After returning to Konoha, he will find Orochimaru to do an experiment. If possible, he will implant the cells of Senju Hashirama into all the Uchiha clan members. Tianyu secretly has an idea in his heart. Although not all Uchiha clan members can grow up to be Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Obito. But the strength of the Uchiha clan that is still alive is not a joke. Once the two of them really want to get serious, even Tianyu has to be careful. Otherwise, it is very likely that he will capsize in the ditch and fail. Itachi's ability is really strong. I am no match for him. After watching the battle between Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisu for a while, Hoshigaki Kisame decisively admitted his own shortcomings. Oh, I thought you would be eager to rush up after watching the battle between the two of them. Tianyu looked at Hoshigaki Kisame and said with a smile. If it was when I was still in the Akatsuki organization, I would do so, but now I really want to obey your orders, and I think you don't want a disobedient subordinate either. Hoshigaki Kisame also turned around and smiled at Tianyu. The kind that showed 8 shark teeth. Looking at Hoshigaki Kisame's smile, Tianyu felt helpless. I should be thankful that Hoshigaki Kisame didn't learn to say some youthful words with Might Guy. Otherwise, Tianyu would really have a headache now. You really understand my thoughts? Tianyu sneered when he heard this. The battle between Uchiha Shisu and Uchiha Itachi was still going on over there. Their battle caused the earth to collapse. The surrounding forests were destroyed by them. Amaterasu. Uchiha Itachi's eyes released black Amaterasu flames. This black Amaterasu, the flames attached to Shisu's Susanoo in an instant. The scorching light forced Shisu to temporarily delay the attack. Focus on dealing with Amaterasu. And it was this gap that allowed Uchiha Itachi to escape from the battlefield. Brother Shisu, thank you for coming to persuade me, but we now have different positions. I want to pursue my own things. If you can see Amaterasu, thank him for taking care of Sasuke. I'm leaving first. After Uchiha Itachi said this, his body quickly went away. Obviously, he wanted to take this opportunity to leave here quickly. Itachi. Shisu saw Uchiha Itachi's actions and wanted to chase him. But Amaterasu hadn't dealt with him yet and he was too busy. But just when Shisu thought Uchiha Itachi would escape, the next moment. Boom. The sound of trees falling sounded. In order to avoid this attack, Uchiha Itachi was forced to return to the battle scene again. Mr. Itachi, long time no see. Hoshigaki Kisame stood in front of him holding Samiji in his hand. Chapter 328 Return to Konoha. Hoshigaki Kisame. Uchiha Itachi looked at the man in front of him who was wearing a Konoha uniform. He was in a trance for a moment. After all, in the past, he had seen Hoshigaki Kisame wearing a red cloud robe. Now Hoshigaki Kisame was standing in front of him wearing a Konoha uniform, which made Uchiha Itachi feel unreal. Why are you here? Uchiha Itachi frowned and looked around. The news that Hoshigaki Kisame had betrayed Konoha had already spread. But Uchiha Itachi never believed it. After all, Hoshigaki Kisame's loyalty to Uchiha Obito has always been trustworthy. What he didn't expect was that Hoshigaki Kisame actually left the Akatsuki organization and joined Konoha. Of course I came to take you back to Konoha. To be honest, Mr. Itachi, if you return to Konoha, your status and treatment will definitely be much better than mine. You are the orphan of the Uchiha clan. Such an identity may allow you to directly enter the upper echelons of Konoha and become an elder. But I am different. I can only become a jonin to do some tasks, and occasionally I have to be monitored by others, so why don't you go back? How can your body support it in the wind and rain outside? Hoshigaki Kisame and Uchiha Itachi have been partners for several years. He knows Uchiha Itachi's physical condition very well. Uchiha Itachi's eyes are probably already blurred at this moment. His body is extremely weak due to long-term illness. Every flow of chakra puts a great burden on his body. If it were an ordinary person, with such a body, I am afraid he would have fallen to the ground and couldn't get up. But Uchiha Itachi can still stand in front of them alive and kicking, and can even fight with Susanoo. This is indeed amazing. But that's all. Itachi, come back with me. At this moment, Shisu also got rid of the threat of Amaterasu's flames. He walked to Uchiha Itachi's side. Uchiha Itachi did not speak. He was thinking about which side to break out from, which would be safer. Don't think about it. If you escape from my hands today, I will not have the face to stay in Konoha. Tianyu slowly walked out from the bushes, completely blocking the last way for Uchiha Itachi to leave. After seeing Tianyu coming out, Itachi sighed. Why are you doing this? I'm just a rebel ninja. Even if I leave the Akatsuki organization, my identity can't go back to the past. Even if I can go back, how will I get along with Sasuke and those people in the village? They have always regarded me as the executioner who killed their own people. When I go back, how will they get along with me? Uchiha Itachi knew that if he wanted to leave today, he would have to pay a certain price. But the pain in his body made his eyes darken. With his body, he couldn't survive the joint attack of these three people. It should be said that even if his body was intact, he couldn't withstand Tianyu's attack. I don't think so. Tianyu walked in front of Uchiha Itachi. He looked down at Uchiha Itachi, like a high god, and then like a mortal, giving his mercy. You are just confused on the road. As long as you return to Konoha, you will become the same person as before. You are not a bad person by nature, but you have become pessimistic under the influence of Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen. As for your relationship with other people in the village, I don't think you have to worry at all. The village has already vindicated the Uchiha clan, and your status in everyone's hearts has also changed from a rebel ninja to an undercover who endures humiliation. Everyone will only respect you, not have prejudice. And even your father hopes that you can return to Konoha, and even Sasuke thinks so. After all, you are Sasuke's last relative in this world, so go back. Tianyu looked at Uchiha Itachi and persuaded him. This was the first and last time he tried to persuade Uchiha Itachi. If he still refused, then Tianyu would not say it again. After all, a stubborn person was of no value to Tianyu. Even if he was Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke. When Tianyu mentioned Sasuke, Itachi closed his eyes in pain. He recalled the scenes of his childhood with Sasuke. Brother. I don't know when Sasuke had appeared behind Tianyu. He looked at Itachi very calmly. Sasuke. Itachi was stunned when he saw Sasuke. Then he subconsciously wanted to hide. After all the truth happened, Itachi felt extremely guilty when facing Sasuke. So he didn't dare to look at Sasuke. What are you afraid of? Sasuke stepped forward. In order to protect the village, you killed your parents and even your favorite person. Why don't you have the courage to look me in the face today? Brother, you have paid a lot for the village, and now it's time to come back. Sasuke. Itachi looked at Sasuke inside. Lord Tianyu, I will go back to Konoha with you, but please remove the illusion in front of you. I know you want to use Sasuke to persuade me to go back, but there is no need to do so. Itachi is a master of illusion. In addition, Tianyu did not want to hide, so he saw directly that Sasuke who appeared in front of them was just an illusion. However, this was still very useful for Uchiha Itachi. He had already agreed. But what Uchiha Itachi did not know was that although Tianyu used illusion, he did not use it completely. Because after removing the illusion, Sasuke suddenly appeared in front of everyone. As early as Tianyu arrived in the land of rice fields, he had left a secret message for Sasuke. And Sasuke also found the mark left by Tianyu. He followed it and came over. Sasuke, you. Itachi opened his eyes wide. He was a little at a loss. My parents said they don't blame you, so I won't blame you either. Go back to Konoha. Sasuke looked at Itachi deeply. In the end, he persuaded him to go back to Konoha. Okay, Itachi nodded. Thank you, Master Tianyu, thank you for finding him back, but I'm studying a new ninjutsu recently, so I can't go back for the time being. Please go back first, but if you run into Naruto, please tell Naruto for me. If his strength declines, I will not recognize him as my friend. Sasuke looked at Tianyu and said. Obviously, neither Sasuke nor Itachi could face each other now. Okay, but don't worry, Naruto knows about the bet between Orochimaru and Jiraiya, and is working hard now. And I'm also relieved about you. Tianyu said with a smile. Chapter 329 The Beauty of Konoha. After hearing what Tianyu said, Sasuke was stunned for a moment. After a moment, he nodded slowly, and then whispered to Tianyu, Tianyu, I understand, thank you. After saying these words simply, Sasuke and Tianyu said goodbye and left there. The time now is very important for Sasuke. He wants to do his best to become stronger. Not only because of the bet between Orochimaru and Jiraiya, but also because of his pride that he doesn't want to lose to Naruto. After Sasuke left, Tianyu looked at Hoshigaki Kisame and Uchiha Itachi beside him, and told them, "Then let's set off too, it's time to go back to Konoha." "Yes, Tianyu," Hoshigaki Kisame and Uchiha Itachi said in unison. Then, the three of them turned into three black shadows, quickly disappeared from the spot, and ran quickly towards the direction of Konoha. Whether it is Hoshigaki Kisame, Uchiha Itachi, or Tianyu, the strength of the three of them is already at the top of the world, and they are first-class masters. Their speed is naturally not comparable to that of ordinary ninjas. It takes a normal person 3 days to get back to Konoha, but it took them less than half a day to reach the gate of Konoha village. For Tianyu, this is naturally quite easy. And for Hoshigaki Kisame, who has always been good at physical strength, such physical consumption is nothing. Among the three people, Uchiha Itachi looks the most embarrassed at this time. The Uchiha clan, which is famous throughout the world for fire escape ninjutsu, illusion, and pupil technique, has always been at the level of ordinary people in terms of physical strength. At this time, Uchiha Itachi's body is already very poor, so such a long journey consumes a lot of his physical strength. At this time, his face is a little pale, his lips are a little pale, and there is a lot of sweat on his forehead, and his face shows a little fatigue. You are already like this, and you have been trying to be strong before. It seems that you will not turn back until you hit the wall. Tianyu teased Uchiha Itachi. "Tianyu, sir." Uchiha Itachi had a helpless bitter smile on his face. "You know, I also have my own difficulties. My life, in my opinion, is just a very insignificant thing. It doesn't matter even if I die, as long as I can achieve my dream." "No." Tianyu shook his head. "In my opinion, your life is not insignificant, but very important. People can only talk about dreams when they are alive. If you can't even live, what dreams are there to talk about? I should have told you this before, right?" Uchiha Itachi knew that he was in the wrong and was speechless. He did say this before. And it was many years ago. At that time, Uchiha Itachi was still a ninja in the Anbu of Konoha, a spy between the Uchiha clan and the Konoha high-level officials. When he heard about the death of Uchiha Shisu, he went to find Tianyu, who was just a child at that time. Although Tianyu was only a few years old at that time. But his eyes were very firm. He said to himself that only by living can he achieve his goal. If he died, there would be nothing. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame followed Tianyu and walked into Konoha together. Konoha at this time was very different from when he left. The economy in Konoha has become more prosperous. On the streets, you can see all kinds of shops, restaurants, pubs, etc. everywhere, and there are endless small vendors in the streets and alleys. The women on the street chatted about family matters and laughed happily. The children on the street ran around and had a lot of fun. Occasionally, on the eaves, you can see ninjas wearing military green vests flashing by. The whole Konoha is very peaceful and prosperous. It is really like a fairyland. Now Konoha has one real peace. As a Konoha with absolute strength, because of Tianyu's existence, it can directly crush other ninja villages. No one dared to challenge without knowing what was good for him. It seems that Lord Tianyu really did it. All these things that happened over the years have proved to Uchiha Itachi that what Tianyu said at the beginning was right. Only those who survived are qualified to talk about their dreams. Perhaps all along, his thoughts were really wrong. If he could survive, it would be really good. Just as Uchiha Itachi was looking at the peaceful, happy and prosperous Konoha in front of him, he suddenly felt a bloody breath coming from his mouth, Pucci. And the next second, before he even had time to react, a stream of bright red blood vomited up along his chest, spurted out of his mouth, and dyed the land in front of him red. His body also knelt directly on his knees, and the whole person knelt on the ground. But, damn it! Uchiha Itachi still wanted to barely support his body and tried to stand up from the ground. Uchiha Itachi, who had always been so proud, was unwilling to fall in front of everyone at this time. But the disease in his body was even more serious than he had imagined. Finally, his willpower was unable to resist the strong rejection reaction brought by his body. He felt a black screen in front of his eyes, and he fell to the ground unconscious in the next second. In the last second of consciousness, he felt that he heard many people's voices in his ears. Someone fell down. Quick, come and help. What's wrong with him? Hey, Itachi, what's wrong with you? Are you trying to scare me? Oh no, Uchiha Itachi's health is worse than I expected. Quick, send him to the medical room, go find Tsunade. Except for Hokage, I'm afraid no one else can do anything about his illness. In the medical room of Konoha, Tsunade had golden hair tied in 2 ponytails hanging in front of her. She was just called from the Hokage's office by Tianyu, and she didn't even have time to take off her divine robe before rushing to check Uchiha Itachi's body. 10 minutes later, Tsunade walked out of the medical room, with a very solemn expression on her face. How is Uchiha Itachi's health? Tianyu came up at this time and asked Tsunade. Tsunade sighed deeply, and then said, to be honest, I have been a medical ninja for so many years, and I have seen people who don't care about their lives, but I have never seen people who don't take their bodies seriously. This kind of patient is really the most annoying type of person for a doctor. Tsunade said very impolitely, with her hands on her hips. Chapter 330, Seriously Ill. What kind of disease is it? Tianyu asked Tsunade with some curiosity. In the original work, there is actually very little description of this section. In the early stage, Uchiha Itachi, as the target of Uchiha Sasuke's revenge, has always played the role of a big villain in the eyes of readers. And only when the 2 brothers Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke had their last battle, everyone finally knew that Uchiha Itachi was not a powerful villain. He was carrying a lot of unknown pain. His fate was regretted by so many people. At that time, everyone knew that Uchiha Itachi had planned for so long because he knew that he was already terminally ill, so he wanted to make himself a stepping stone for his younger brother Uchiha Sasuke to make Sasuke stronger. It's an overdraft of body functions. Tsunade gave Tianyu the answer. In fact, this disease is very common, and we can even see it often in our daily lives. For example, when you are injured, some wounds are not treated in time, it is easy to form some hidden injuries. On the surface, they look healed, but in fact, the wound has not recovered completely. Generally, this kind of wound will become more troublesome. Not only will it take more methods to treat, but the treatment time will also be longer. Some wounds that originally only took 1 or 2 weeks to heal may take 5 or 10 years to completely eradicate because of poor recovery. After listening to Tsunade's explanation, Tianyu thought about it in his heart, nodded, and said, so, Uchiha Itachi did not treat the wound properly when he was injured before, which caused the physical deficit. Tsunade nodded, and then continued, not only that, the main Gekyo Sharingan in his body is a pair of extremely powerful eyes, and each use will cause a great burden on the body. Every time he uses the main Gekyo Sharingan, it consumes a lot of body functions. After putting a great burden on his body, he never got a good rest. In the long run, even if he has a good body, after such repeated torture, how can there be no problems? As a doctor, Tsunade is obviously very troubled by such patients. If you don't take your body seriously, you will have to bear the consequences. Tianyu nodded. As an undercover agent planted by Konoha in the Akatsuki organization, and with Uchiha Obito disguised as Uchiha Madara to secretly monitor him, Uchiha Itachi certainly did not dare to reveal any handle or weakness in the Akatsuki organization. In a state of high-intensity tension of mind and body, how can a body that has used the Sharingan have time and opportunity to rest well? Although he understands Uchiha Itachi's approach, he also has his unspeakable difficulties. However, he does not agree. For Tianyu, his own body is of course more important. In Tianyu's opinion, the things that Uchiha Itachi values are actually not worth his life for them. Okay, let's not talk about those things for now. Tianyu waved his hand, and then asked Tsunade, the most urgent thing now is to treat his body. Tsunade, are you sure about this? Faced with Tianyu's question, Tsunade was silent for a moment and did not give an immediate answer. What's wrong? Do you find it difficult to? Tianyu frowned slightly and asked softly. Tsunade nodded seriously, then sighed. To be honest, I can only say that I tried my best. Uchiha Itachi's body can only be described as terminally ill. Even with my medical ninjutsu, I only have a 30% chance of curing him, and that's with his full cooperation. 30%. Tianyu fell into contemplation for a moment, then he raised his head and nodded at Tsunade. Okay, a 30% probability is enough. Tsunade, I trust you, just feel free to use your medical ninjutsu to treat him, even if you fail, it doesn't matter. Failed, it doesn't matter. Tsunade's green pupils suddenly dilated, and she looked at Tianyu with a bit of surprise in her eyes. Have you forgotten the technique of impure world reincarnation? A smile appeared on Tianyu's lips. He waved his hand at Tsunade and said, "At worst, we can only use that ninjutsu to summon the dead Uchiha back. Hey, you guy." Tsunade's forehead was bulging with veins. She raised her fist and wanted to punch Tianyu. "You guy, don't blaspheme the dead like this in front of me, a doctor, you bastard." Tsunade's fist was enough to break Jiraiya's 4 ribs. Even Tianyu didn't have the confidence to take it head-on. So, he slightly turned to the side and easily avoided Tsunade's punch. The gap in strength between him and Tsunade was too big. For him, it was easy to resolve such an attack without any effort. "You've been the Hokage for such a long time, and you're still so irritable." Tianyu's forehead was full of black lines, and he complained to Tsunade in dissatisfaction. Okay, just pretend that I didn't tell you about the impure world reincarnation. You should try your best to treat Uchiha." Tianyu's attitude made Tsunade, who had just gone berserk, feel much better. She crossed her arms in front of her chest, snorted at Tianyu with a bit of arrogance, and then said, "Okay, you go and get busy, I'll take care of this for the time being." "Well, thank you for your hard work," Tianyu said with a smile. He had to remember Tsunade's favor. Just as Tsunade began to give Uchiha preliminary treatment, and Tianyu was about to leave, with a creak, the door of the top ward of the Ninja Medical Center was suddenly pushed open, and a man with long black hair appeared in front of Tianyu, Tsunade and others. His golden snake eyes flashed under the lights of the hospital, and he carried that kind of cold aura as always, which made people shiver. This person, of course, is Orochimaru. After briefly scanning Tsunade and Amaji, his eyes fell on Uchiha's body behind them. His eyes suddenly shone with a stronger light, like a hunter who saw his beloved prey, within easy reach. "Orochimaru, what are you doing here?" Tsunade put down what she was doing and asked Orochimaru first. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 331 Itachi's Experience. Although they had reconciled long ago, they also knew that Orochimaru was forced to leave the village by Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen. If Orochimaru didn't leave, he would most likely die in Konoha. But even so, Tsunade's attitude towards Orochimaru was not much better. After all, Orochimaru's disrespect for the dead had already angered Tsunade. The impure world reincarnation technique. Although it was created by Senju Tobirama. But it is ultimately a blasphemy against the dead. Don't be so angry. Of course I have something to do here. I heard that you brought back Uchiha. Orochimaru was rarely good-tempered to Tsunade. He even spoke in a friendly manner. When talking about Uchiha, his eyes lit up. It was Uchiha that made Orochimaru interested in the Uchiha clan and the Sharingan. It was also Uchiha's ability that made Orochimaru sigh at the power of the bloodline limit. Now Uchiha was finally brought back to Konoha. How could he not come to see it? And if possible, he hoped to study Uchiha's Sharingan himself. Perhaps this would make his research more perfect. Who did you hear this from? You are well informed. I didn't expect you to get this information in Konoha now. It seems that your efforts are not in vain. Tsunade smiled when she heard Orochimaru say this. Orochimaru used to be a member of Konoha, but not now. Now Orochimaru can only be said to be a scientist hired by Konoha to conduct research. He is neither a ninja of Konoha nor a villager of Konoha. But he was able to know the news about Uchiha, so it can be seen that Orochimaru has intelligence capabilities. Of course I saw it with my own eyes. I saw with my own eyes the scene of Uchiha being brought back by Amaji and Hoshigaki Kisame. To be honest, I was really happy to see Uchiha come back, so Tsunade, please let me meet Uchiha. I really want to ask him where that kind of power comes from and whether there is some incredible power in his blood. The most important thing is his eyes, which are extremely powerful. If possible, I even want to get a sample, so that my experiment will become flawless, and I can create an experimental subject that will make the world tremble. When Orochimaru talked about his experiment, his tone became excited. The whole person was like a mad scientist. If Orochimaru wore black-framed glasses, he would look even more similar. Don't even think about it. Uchiha's current physical condition does not allow any disturbance. Not to mention cooperating with you in the experiment, It is difficult for him to even walk out of this room now, and at least for 3 months, his eyes will not be able to open the Sharingan. Forcing it to open can only overdraw his life. If Uchiha Itachi is tortured to death by you, then you go and give an explanation to Tianyu in person. I want to see if Tianyu will make you into snake stew. Tsunade sneered at Orochimaru, and then directly refused. Alice, this. Orochimaru laughed when he heard this. Indeed, Tianyu is very powerful, and although Tianyu seems to be obedient to Orochimaru on weekdays and gives him whatever he wants. But if Orochimaru really causes Uchiha Itachi some problems, the first person to settle accounts with him will definitely be Tianyu. As for the second one, it will be either Shisu or Sasuke. Sasuke can be easily dealt with. But Shisu's power is not weaker than Uchiha Itachi. In a way, it is even scarier than Uchiha Itachi. The power of Kido Matsukami's illusion, as long as you know this name, you will feel fear from the bottom of your heart. It changes a person's mind unconsciously. It is scary to hear it. What's this? Hurry up and leave. I've already said this. You must not disturb Uchiha Itachi within 3 months. After 3 months, as long as his surgery is not done, you can't do it. After his body recovers, if you still want to attack Uchiha Itachi, go to Tianyu. If he agrees, then I agree. Otherwise, don't even think about disturbing my patient. If you dare to come over again, I will let you taste the taste of being hit by the sky and become a meteor. And, you probably don't want your bet to be known to the whole village, wearing a female servant's outfit. Although I know this is a bet between you two, you have to believe that as a medical ninja, I can quietly give you some medicine to make you lose this bet. At that time, the whole village will come to watch you wearing a female servant's outfit. That scene must be very beautiful. Tsunade smiled and waved her fist, and threatened. Seeing that, Orochimaru couldn't help but take a few steps back. He shuddered at Tsunade's words. Okay, I won't come. Orochimaru shook his head. He turned around and left the Konoha hospital. After leaving the Konoha hospital, Orochimaru still hadn't given up. The perfect Sharingan that he had talked about for so many years was finally at his side. Even if he was threatened by Tsunade, Orochimaru had to give it a try. After leaving the spell at the door, he temporarily returned to the laboratory. He planned to wait until the evening to check the situation. After Orochimaru left, Tianyu looked at Tsunade and couldn't help laughing. He hadn't spoken before. He just wanted to see what Tsunade would do. The result was as he expected. Actually, you don't have to talk to Orochimaru like that. Tianyu said with a smile. I'm used to it. I can't change it. But Tianyu, what I said is true. The 30% confidence is actually only to cure his body. In fact, his strength may not reach the peak after recovery. It is more likely that he will die directly on the operating table. Since I became a medical ninja, I have saved thousands of people. There are few people among these people who I can't do anything about, but I really don't want to be powerless anymore. They are all living lives. Tsunade was in some pain. When she was young, after seeing the death of ninjas, she wanted to become a medical ninja to save the dying and the wounded. But later she found that after becoming a medical ninja, she would be even more powerless. Because her medical skills cannot save everyone. Her strength is far from comparable to that of Senju Hashirama. Even watching those patients die in front of her was a torture for Tsunade. Especially watching the people he cared about die in front of her. Chapter 332 30% success rate. That feeling of powerlessness. Tsunade really didn't want to feel it anymore. Hearing Tsunade's words, Tianyu could feel the grief in the master's heart. He walked forward and gently held Tsunade's shoulders. Don't worry, all this will pass. Sooner or later, these villagers of Konoha will no longer have to endure pain. They will eventually live in a peaceful country, and I am willing to work hard for this. Tianyu comforted Tsunade. Well, I believe you can do it, Tianyu. Tsunade smiled when she heard this. Let's go, Tianyu, come with me to the office to see if there are any good treatment plans that can increase the success rate. Tsunade said, and took Tianyu out of Konoha Hospital. After Tianyu and Tsunade left, Hoshigaki Kisame had already handed over all the work on hand. Only then did he come to Konoha Hospital. Pushing open the door of the ward. Uchiha Itachi had woken up at this moment. He changed into a hospital gown. It was also at this time that he looked at the clothes on Uchiha Itachi. Only then did he realize that his body was extremely thin. Although it was not to the point of only a skeleton left. But the collarbone on his neck was particularly clear. You could even raise fish there. His skin was also sickly pale. You're here, Kisame. Uchiha Itachi retracted his gaze from the window and turned to look at Hoshigaki Kisame. Well, I'm here, how are you? He looked at Uchiha Itachi and asked cautiously. The attitude was like looking at a porcelain doll. It seemed that if the voice was a little louder, it would blow the person away. Kisame, actually you don't have to be so cautious. I'm not that fragile. In fact, I'm fine. Itachi couldn't help laughing when he looked at him. And Hoshigaki Kisame, looking at Uchiha Itachi at this moment, but found that his chakra had been sealed all over his body. In other words, Uchiha Itachi is now an ordinary person. According to his current physical strength, even a child can easily defeat him. At that moment, Hoshigaki Kisame showed a complicated expression on his face. Isn't it quite funny? I was holding on all the time, but suddenly I collapsed and ended up like this. Uchiha couldn't help laughing when he saw him like this. Itachi, you. Hoshigaki Kisame was suddenly speechless. Don't be sad for me. This is all my own choice. To be honest, I'm really happy to see Konoha like this. Although Lord Tianyu said that I don't have to blame myself for what the two of them did, but in the past few months since I left the Akatsuki organization, I have been training outside, and I have seen a lot. There was a village where one of the families faced the same choice as I did, but the eldest son of that family did not give up and was always communicating between the family and the village. There was even a fight between the family and the village at one point, but he still didn't give up. In the end, the result was good. The village and the family finally reached a reconciliation and no longer fought. Although there will still be friction, I believe that if we continue to communicate, everything will be fine. After seeing this scene, I have been thinking, if I had not agreed to their conditions at the beginning, if I had made another choice at the beginning, would everything be different? But later, I realized now that there is no if, so I have to cherish the present, no matter whether my injuries can be healed or whether I can survive. I hope that in the end I can die as a Konoha ninja. This is also the greatest comfort to me, so stay well. Uchiha Itachi said with a smile. His words also made Hoshigaki Kisame suddenly enlightened. Itachi, you are still the same Itachi as before. Hoshigaki Kisame looked at Itachi and said with a smile. Kisame seemed to have said nothing about their conversation. But in fact, Uchiha Itachi had already seen through Kisame's thoughts. After all, they had been partners for several years. I still say the same thing. Since you have changed your mind, there is no need to be so pessimistic. Don't forget that Lord Amaji is omnipotent. Your injury will definitely be cured. Hoshigaki Kisame said. It's rare to hear this from you, but I will. The scenery of Konoha is so beautiful, and I haven't seen enough. I also want to continue to accompany Sasuke. Although it will be difficult at the beginning, I believe that he will forgive me over time. Itachi smiled and said. The visiting time is over. Let the patient rest. A doctor walked in and said to Hoshigaki Kisame. Okay, I'll go first. I'll come to see you when I have time. Kisame nodded and left. Uchiha Itachi sighed silently after watching Kisame leave. Feeling the powerlessness in his body, Itachi closed his eyes. Really, I hope to live. Itachi said as if he was muttering to himself. Konoha office. Shisu came over. He saluted Amaji and Tsunade first. Then he began to ask about Uchiha Itachi's condition. Tsunade-sama, I wonder how Itachi is doing. Shisu was very worried about Itachi's health. His health is very bad. He has not received good treatment for a long time. In addition, the burden of the Sharingan on his body, it can be said that he has almost reached the end of his rope. Even if I try my best, I can only have 30% chance at most. Tsunade did not want to hide it from Shisu. She directly told Shisu about Itachi's physical condition. Tsunade-sama, please, you must save Itachi, nothing can happen to him. Upon hearing this, Shisu looked directly at Tsunade and Amaji and begged. No matter what, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke are the last relatives of Uchiha Shisu in this world. If anything happens to them again, the Uchiha clan will really decline. Maybe they will disappear from this world in the future. How ridiculous. The two families that founded Konoha both disappeared from Konoha a few decades later. It's a joke to tell others. Don't worry, I will do my best, but you have to make some preparations on your side. Tsunade looked at Shisu and said. I know. Shisu nodded. Speaking of which, when Itachi left, I was thinking about going to find him, but I was delayed by various things. I didn't expect that this delay would last until now, And his body also had an accident. If I had been the undercover in the Akatsuki organization, Itachi wouldn't be like this. Shisu blamed himself a little. The burden of the Uchiha clan should not have been left to Itachi alone. It should have been carried by the two of them. Chapter 333 Success rate increased. In this way, Itachi's body would not have such an accident. Okay, you don't have to blame too much. This is not your responsibility. Although the success rate is very low now, I will try my best to improve it. In short, we will not give up. Tsunade looked at Shisu and said, "Thank you, Lord Tianyu, Lord Tsunade." Shisu nodded. Then he saluted and left the Hokage's office. After Shisu left, Tsunade flipped through the medical books and couldn't help sighing. These medical books were left by medical ninjas of past generations. But they were useless for treating Uchiha Itachi's injuries. Don't worry, don't forget that there is a last resort. If it doesn't work, maybe you can go to Orochimaru to learn the so-called reincarnation method. Tianyu didn't want Tsunade to bear too much pressure, so he said with a smile, "Don't go." Tsunade frowned. Orochimaru's place is not a good place. Tsunade frowned. It seems that I still have to invite my grandfather over. Tsunade hesitated for a long time, and decided to invite Senju Hashirama over. When people talk about Hashirama Senju nowadays, they all think that Hashirama Senju is the god of ninjas. He is a combat ninja with very strong strength. But in fact, Hashirama Senju also served as a medical ninja. After all, the regeneration ability of wood release cells is already very amazing. When Hashirama Senju led the Senju clan, the injury rate was low. But in other words, the mortality rate was a bit higher. After all, the opponent knows that if you don't die, you are likely to be cured after returning. But if you die directly, no one can cure you. Speaking of it, I don't know whether it is the luck or misfortune of the Senju clan. Well, okay. Tianyu nodded. Tsunade, I heard Tobirama say that you have something to talk to me about. Hashirama Senju pushed the door and walked into the Hokage's office, looking at Tsunade and Tianyu and said, "Speaking of the devil will appear. Then you two can talk. I'm leaving first. Tiantian has something to talk to me about." Tianyu smiled, turned around and left the office. "Well." Tsunade nodded. "Grandpa, I do have something to ask you. Take a look. This is Uchiha Itachi's information. His current success rate of surgery is only 30%, but if he wants to continue to improve, I'm afraid his body can't bear it." Tsunade directly handed Uchiha Itachi's physical information to Senju Hashirama. "Really? Let me see." Senju Hashirama looked through the information. While reading, Senju Hashirama's brows frowned. This person actually doesn't take care of his body. These hidden injuries could have been cured in the first place. And this injury, at the beginning, he only needed to rest for half a month to recover, but he definitely didn't rest in the later period, and he overdrew his chakra once in the middle. See here, the meridians have been damaged. This means that from that time on, every time he tries to use chakra, if he uses an ninjutsu above level A, he will feel pain all over his body. Although he is only 21 years old now, his body is no different from that of a 70 or 80-year-old man. I don't know how he uses it. Senju Hashirama just took a look and directly understood all the injuries on Uchiha Itachi's body. He even pointed out some hidden injuries that Tsunade hadn't noticed. Yes, I was also very sad when I saw his body, but now the most important thing is his physical condition. Can he still be saved? Tsunade asked hurriedly. He can still be saved, but it's a little dangerous. We have to eliminate the hidden dangers first, and the chakra fluctuations must be completely sealed. At the same time, his body must become stronger. Otherwise, if his body can't hold on once the operation begins, he may die on the operating table. After all, he is probably relying on the weak chakra in his body to hold on. Senju Hashirama said. Alice, to be honest, the body of this Uchiha clan member reminds me of Uchiha Madara after the war. His body was like this at the time. He took his clan members with him, regardless of his own injuries, and went to war. Fortunately, Konoha was finally built, and I treated his injuries. It's just a pity that Madara left in the end. When Senju Hashirama talked about Uchiha Madara, his tone was full of regret. After all, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama were the only ones. The two were equally strong. They were rivals, but also close friends with the same belief. Unfortunately, their mindsets changed in the end. Uchiha Madara wanted to break the pattern of this world. But he became self-satisfied and could not listen to other people's opinions. In the end, he had such a situation. As he was talking, Senju Hashirama wrote 60% on the last notebook. This means that the success rate of this operation has reached 60%. Compared with the 30% at the beginning, it has doubled. Grandpa, don't say that. You did try hard at the beginning. So let's let Uchiha Itachi rest. Then I will help you with this operation. Tsunade said with a smile. Speaking of which, when Tsunade was 7 or 8 years old, Senju Hashirama had already passed away. Immediately afterwards, Senju Tobirama inherited the position of Hokage. But in the following time, the world began to fight rapidly. Tsunade's childhood passed quickly, and she began to enter the war. So Tsunade has not actually seen Senju Hashirama perform medical ninjutsu. Okay, I can pass on some knowledge to you. Senju Hashirama nodded. That couldn't be better. Tsunade smiled when she heard this. Itachi Uchiha's surgery plan has been decided. However, due to his physical condition, he has to rest in Konoha for almost half a month before he can continue the surgery. During this period of time, Tianyu was not idle. After saving Gaara, the system had given him everything to build the Gaia shield. So recently Tianyu started forging the Gaia shield at home. Needless to say, the previous attributes of this shield are absolutely defensive. Even the strongest power in this ninja world can be defended. It deserves to be called the Earth Shield. The defensive power is amazing. Ding ding ding. As Tianyu kept hitting the forging hammer, the full picture of the Gaia shield was also revealed bit by bit. With the completion of the last forging. Chapter 334 Akatsuki's Actions. The Gaia shield was also built. There was a layer of golden light on the Gaia shield, and strange patterns were engraved around it. These patterns can bounce back part of the power when absorbing power. At the same time, the people here will not feel the impact of the power at all. It can be regarded as a perfect absolute defense. Tianyu looked at the shield in his hand and was very satisfied. Now when the war starts in the future, he can protect them under the shield at the first time. 2 flowers bloom, each showing its own beauty. Just when Konoha was preparing to treat Uchiha Itachi's physical injuries. Rain Village. At this time, all members of the Akatsuki organization gathered here. The Jinchuriki of the Two Tails has left the Cloud Village and plans to carry out a very confidential mission, and we can just take advantage of this opportunity to attack her and take the Two Tails away. Black and White Zetsu appeared from the ground and looked at everyone and said slowly. Black and White Zetsu's mission in the Akatsuki organization is to collect intelligence. His special ability allows him to lurk in places that others cannot reach. This ability also allows the Akatsuki organization to obtain intelligence one step faster than others. Oh, very good, then how many people followed the Two Tails Jinchuriki this time? Nagato asked. Not many, just one squad, 3 people, plus him, a total of 4 people. The remaining 3 have the strength of a Jonin, but the 3 of them don't have any special bloodline limits, they are just ordinary Jonin. Because Yukito is the Two Tails Jinchuriki, if a battle breaks out, he can burst out with the strength of a cage. This time, capturing the Two Tails cannot be underestimated, and we must not fail. Black and White Zetsu answered. Their previous Konoha plan to capture the One Tails had failed twice in a row. As the saying goes, there is a first time, a second time, but not a third time. If they fail again this time, it will be a huge blow to the morale of their Akatsuki organization. Then let us go. We failed to capture the One Tails last time, so this time we will have to take part in capturing the Two Tails. Deidara still wanted to capture the Two Tails without giving up. No, this time Nagato, you go in person. Obito still rejected Deidara's request, and instead asked Nagato's 6 Paths of Pain to capture the Two Tails in person. After all, this time they wanted a complete crushing victory, and no accidents could happen in the middle. Okay. The heavenly path of the 6 Paths of Pain nodded. I will go with you, and I will make sure that this mission is foolproof. Konan also nodded on the side. Well, then go. This time we can only succeed, not fail. Obito nodded. If that's the case, there may be some trouble in the Cloud Ninja village. You know, that village is a very warlike village. If they know that we have captured the Two Tails Jinchuriki, they may retaliate against the small organization. Black and White Zetsu said. So we must send people to the Cloud Ninja village to divert their attention. I think it's more appropriate for you to go in person. Black and White Zetsu said with a smile. Black and White Zetsu had to do something secretly with the Two Tails Jinchuriki, and when the Two Tails was absorbed into the Outer Path Demon statue, he had to leave a backup plan. So this must not be discovered by Obito. Otherwise, Obito will find out the truth. Obito is a very careful person with strong strength. He can play with many people in the palm of his hand. Black and White Zetsu had to plan in advance. Okay. Obito nodded. In fact, although the Kumagakure is strong, how can we say the strength of the Raikage? It's not good enough. Except for the strength of the third Raikage, which is barely acceptable. The others are getting worse and worse. For Obito, it is not a big problem to stop them all. Then it's settled. Black and White Zetsu smiled and nodded. Well, what about me and Scorpion? I know that we made mistakes when we captured the one-tailed Jinchuriki last time, but there is no need to stop using us. Deidara couldn't bear his temper and said hurriedly when he looked at them. It's not that I don't need you, it's not the time yet. The task of capturing the three-tail can be given to you, but it must be after we bring back the two-tail. Obito said. This sentence can be regarded as a reassurance to Deidara and Scorpion. Tell them that they will not give up easily. Okay, then I will wait for your good news here. Deidara was excited. He wished that he could set out to capture the three-tailed beast the next moment. Some of the root members who escaped from Amaji's pursuit in the Death Forest before. After passing through the Death Forest and leaving the Land of Fire, they rushed all the way to the Land of Lightning. The Cloud Village. At this time, these people were already exhausted and looked extremely embarrassed. But fortunately, the Root and the Cloud Village had some contacts in the past. They were not sent out like beggars. I want to see Lord Raikage. The captain who led the team directly took out a contact token that was in the Root at that time. The guard wanted to fool him when he saw this person. But he didn't expect that this person actually took out a contact token of the Root. Everyone knew about the situation in Konoha a long time ago. During the Chunin exam, Danzo colluded with the Akatsuki organization to overthrow the rule of the Hokage. But in the end, it was reported that he had done those ugly things, and even the third-generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen committed suicide in front of everyone. It can be said that the current Konoha is ruled by Tsunade, the granddaughter of Oshirama Senju, the god of ninjas. It is completely different from the previous Konoha. It is a new village. And Danzo's roots are also being thoroughly liquidated by the current Konoha. Originally, they thought that these roots had long disappeared in another purge. Unexpectedly, there are still remnants of forces left. This is really unexpected. You want to see Lord Raikage, with your current strength, aren't you afraid that we will arrest you and send you to Konoha? Konoha should be arresting you everywhere now. The guard smiled when he saw the captain. The former Kumagakure did have some collusion with the roots. Otherwise, the people of the Kumagakure would not be able to send ninjas to Konoha to take away Hinata Hyuga, the eldest lady of the Hyuga clan. There is no way to put pressure on Konoha in the future. Force Konoha to give an explanation. But now with the death of Danzo, all this is no longer the same as before. If they were allowed to enter the Cloud Ninja village now, it might bring some trouble to their own village. Chapter 335 The Arrival of the Root. Especially Konoha. Konoha is not the same as before. If Konoha is really angered, something bad will happen to the Kumagakure. Don't worry, we will not cause trouble to the Kumagakure this time, and we will bring a great gift to Lord Raikage. This great gift has always been what Lord Raikage has been looking forward to. The captain of the ambush said directly to the ninja guarding the gate. Oh, a great gift. Hearing this, the ninja guarding the gate frowned. You wait here, I will report to Lord Raikage. After saying that, he turned around and left here directly. These people from the Root knew that their treatment was different from before, but they could only wait here. After all, they are now being hunted by Konoha. The people in front of them did not capture them directly and send them to Konoha. It was already the last mercy. What else can they say? Raikage's office. Like the Hokage, Raikage also has to deal with a lot of official documents every day. But fortunately, he still has assistants to help, so things are handled smoothly. Today, he has dealt with a lot of things. Just when he was about to take a break, he saw the guard push the door open and enter. Lord Raikage. The guard saluted him first. A group of ninjas from the Root came to the village. They said they wanted to see you and brought you the most anticipated gift. I wonder if you want to meet them. The guard said directly. Oh, the Root, you mean the Root of Konoha? The Raikage frowned after hearing the so-called words. Yes. The guard nodded. Hearing this, The Raikage snorted coldly. Why did those people come to us instead of staying in Konoha? Oh, I almost forgot that Danzo is dead. They have no place to stay in Konoha and are being hunted down, so they came here. But my Kumagakure village is not a place to take in refugees. Let them go to where they came from and don't get in my way here. The Raikage did not agree to meet them. After all, the route has long been a place that everyone wants to kill. And he knew how much Konoha hated these people. If we take them in, it will bring disaster, which is not good. But, Lord Raikage, they said they sent a great gift. After hearing this, the guard wanted to turn around and tell the people from the route about the situation, but after careful consideration, he couldn't help but speak. I don't. Lord Raikage, maybe what they brought to us is the situation in Konoha that you want to know. Now that Tsunade has come to power, the intelligence personnel we sent to Konoha have been expelled from Konoha. Now we don't know anything about the situation there, which is not a good thing. Let's call them over and ask them. If the information they provide is not enough for them to leave alive, just kill them directly. Mabu said with a smile. As the assistant of the Raikage, she has to think about the Raikage. And these root ninjas from Konoha in front of her. If used properly, they are likely to set off a wave. Okay, bring the person to me, but remember, don't let anyone know along the way. If it's not appropriate, I will execute the person secretly. After hearing what Bianbu Ai said, the Raikage nodded. Yes, Lord Raikage. After hearing this, the guard turned around and left on the spot. In front of the gate of the Cloud Village. The guard opened the door and brought these people from the route in. According to the Raikage's instructions, they took a small path to the Raikage's office. Of course, these people from the route knew that they couldn't see anyone because of their identities. So they didn't say anything. After entering the Raikage's office, the leading captain took the initiative to salute the Raikage. This is considered a courtesy. Lord Raikage. Well, I heard that you brought me a big gift. What is the gift? Take it out quickly. The Raikage looked at the man in front of him and said impatiently. Lord Raikage, the gift I want to give you is not a physical object, but information about Konoha. I believe you should be very interested in Konoha's information. The ninja of the route looked at the fourth generation Raikage and said with a smile. Oh, information, tell me. Hearing this, the Raikage raised his head decisively. For a ninja, strength is extremely important. But more important is information. When you have information, even if the person's strength is stronger than yours. But you can also avoid the disaster with your understanding of him. This is the importance of information. Lord Raikage, I believe you should also know what kind of attitude Konoha has towards us now. Konoha is now chasing us everywhere. My companions and I need a safe shelter. The captain did not directly tell the information. After all, this information is their last trump card. It must be said after getting some guarantees. Otherwise, when his trump cards are gone, he can only become a fish on the chopping board and let others deal with it. You are quite good at bargaining, okay, I promise you, if the information you tell us is useful to us, I can let you continue to live in the Cloud Village and protect you. The fourth generation Raikage sneered when he heard this. But he still agreed to the captain's request. After all, the Cloud Village's ambition is the whole world. Then it is inevitable to conflict with Konoha. But if they can get the information of Konoha in advance, it will be of some help to their future battles. Okay, then I will tell you about the situation in Konoha. Lord Danzo once dug 4 secret passages underground in Konoha. These 4 secret passages are respectively located in the territory of the Land of Fire. Relying on these 4 secret passages, you can pass through Konoha's defense formation and directly enter the village. After Lord Danzo was killed, 3 of the secret passages have been destroyed, but there is still one left, and they have not discovered it. So if Lord Raikage wants to plot against Konoha, he can use this last secret passage to enter the center of Konoha and launch a surprise attack. I believe this will catch Konoha off guard. Moreover, the formation that Konoha is using now was also tampered with by Lord Danzo. It only needs to use ninjutsu at a few specific points to completely destroy the formation. Then with the help of internal and external forces, Konoha will naturally be captured. The young captain looked at the Raikage and told him all the information he knew. Chapter 336, Plan to Capture the Two-Tailed. The Raikage originally thought that the captain would be talking about the information of Tianyu and others. But he didn't expect that he would say these. However, this information is also extremely important to them. This means that if they go to war with Konoha, They can completely cooperate from inside and outside. Attacking from both inside and outside, even if Konoha can survive, there will be heavy casualties. But this is after all the one-sided words of the man in front of him. Whether it is true or not is still to be discussed. What you said is indeed exciting, but how can I believe you? The Raikage looked at the man in front of him and asked. It's very simple. You can send someone to the secret passage I mentioned to verify it. In fact, this last secret passage was prepared by Danzo for himself, so that he could leave Konoha through the secret passage as soon as possible if something happened one day. It's just a pity that when Tianyu launched a rebellion, everything happened too suddenly, and Danzo couldn't use the secret passage to leave, so he died. Since the establishment of this secret passage, all the people who knew this secret file, except me, have died. You can rest assured. The captain said hurriedly. Okay, then I will trust you for now. Take the people down. I will arrange a place for you in the village for you to live temporarily. But you have to hide your identity for a while and can't appear in front of everyone. Otherwise, if the people of Konoha find out your identity, I will have to abandon you at that time. The Raikage looked at them and said. Don't worry, Lord Raikage, we came to the Cloud Village just to get a place where we can rest and recuperate. We will not cause trouble here. But if you decide to attack Konoha, you must take us with you, because we want to avenge Lord Danzo and kill Tianyu. When talking about Tianyu, a strong anger burst out in the eyes of the captain. These people in their roots treat Danzo as a god. When the gods in their hearts die, some have already left with the gods, but some will inherit the will of the gods and avenge him. Yes. Raikage nodded. Soon, the ninjas of the Cloud Village took this group of people out of the Raikage's office. Lord Raikage, do you really believe what the root said? Tianyu looked at the Raikage and asked. Whether I believe what he said or not, he did bring us information, and if this information is true, it will bring us significant results in attacking Konoha. But if it is false, and this group of people have already stayed here, then I don't mind letting this place become their burial place. The Raikage said with a smile. I see. Tianyu nodded after hearing this. A plain in the land of grass. This is where the two-tailed Jinchuriki Yumuto is about to go on a mission. She will take away all the ores that contain power in this land. She will prepare for the next Kumagakure to forge ninja tools. This place has always been a battleground for military strategists, with a lot of ores. This time, the ore required for her mission is the rarest gold and stone ore. Don't be careless. Hurry up and don't waste time. We don't have extra time to waste. Yumuto looked around. They had killed all the miners here before, but some of them had already escaped. Now those people in other villages may have known the situation here. If they can't move faster, they will most likely attract ninjas from other villages. A war will inevitably break out. In order not to discredit the Cloud Village, Yukito and his men actually pretended to be rebels. So once they fight with others, if they are killed by others, the Cloud Village will not be able to stand up for them. Okay, don't worry, in 5 minutes, the ore here will be able to be taken away, and then we can retreat. The other 3 people heard Yukito say this, and they hurriedly accelerated their hands. But the accident still came. The 3 people were suddenly blown away by the huge force. As the 3 of them fell, their bodies were also pierced by the sharp horns of the summoned beasts. In just a face-to-face, the 3 people died in Nagato's hands. Who are you? Yukito was stunned when he saw this scene, and then immediately entered a state of combat readiness. You don't need to know who I am, you just need to understand that the tailed beast in your body is mine. Nagato didn't waste time with Yukito and took action directly. Okay, the rhinoceros summoning beast charged directly at Yukito. The huge body made Yukito's back cold. It seemed that this was not an accident, but a capture plan for him in advance. But no matter what, he would never let the man in front of him succeed. She would definitely protect the tailed beast. Then you can try it. I want to see if you have the strength to get the tailed beast in my body. After Yukito finished saying this, he rushed forward. A great battle broke out. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was already afternoon. The battle had also come to an end. Yukito had collapsed on the ground. No one knew whether he was dead or alive. As for Nagato, it was obvious that he did not spend too much effort. The suppression of the tailed beasts by the Rinnegan was overwhelming. Even relying on the power of the tailed beasts, his strength could be temporarily strengthened. But that was only temporary. There was also Nagato, who had the blood of the Uzumaki clan, plus the power of the Rinnegan. His strength was already at the top of the world. Except for the few people, I am afraid no one could be Nagato's opponent. Nagato, how are you? Konan came to Nagato after Nagato resolved the battle and asked with concern. It's okay. Take the people away. Someone will come here in a while, and I don't want our situation to be discovered. Nagato said silently. Okay. Konan nodded. Then he took Yukito and left with Nagato. What's going on over there? I seem to feel the chakra of the two tails. Is someone attacking Yukito? A ninja from the Cloud Village panicked immediately after feeling his chakra. Their actions this time were a bit dirty. After all, they wanted the Changsha civilians to take away the ores they needed. So if they were discovered by other people from the Wu Kingdom, it would very likely have some negative effects on them. At that time, the Cloud Village would become the target of the 5 major countries. Chapter 337, Two-Tail captured successfully. If they were besieged, even the Kumagakure would not be able to hold out. How is that possible? Yukito is the Two-Tails Jinchuriki. At best, the people in this mine are only Jonin at best. How can they be a match for Yukito-sama? Another ninja frowned. Could it be that reinforcements from other villages have arrived? One person also frowned. No, our current location is the only way for reinforcements to arrive. If reinforcements arrive, we can't help but notice it. A ninja shook his head. Then, what's going on? I don't know, but even though we don't know, we still have to go over and take a look. Otherwise, if anything happens, it will be too late. A ninja said anxiously. Yes. The other two nodded directly. After agreeing, they went directly in the direction of the two Yukitos. But when they arrived at the scene of the war, they found that the surrounding area had been deserted. Only traces of the battlefield remained. The smoke of gunpowder remained, but the people had disappeared. What's going on? I can sense the chakra of the two-tail around here, but the person has disappeared. A ninja looked around and said anxiously. There, I can feel the chakra of the two-tail chasing me in that direction. A sensing ninja, after sensing the chakra of the two-tail, wanted to lead people to chase it. Okay. Everyone nodded. But when they were about to rush over, a person in front of them had stopped them. Who are you? The man looked at the person who dared to stop them with shock in his eyes. Because the person in front of him was wearing a red cloud robe, and he was the culprit in the nightmare operation. Akatsuki Organization. You don't need to know my name, you just need to know that you will all die next. Obito sneered. What? These people heard this, and they didn't react yet. Their bodies were pierced by the wood release. The picture they saw before they died was the man's face. Rain Village. Nagato brought the unconscious two-tail over with a wooden man and threw it to the ground. Yukito was already seriously injured at this time. After being smashed to the ground, she woke up briefly. What are you going to do? She opened her eyes in fear and looked at the man who defeated her. The power of the two-tail was powerless in front of this man. She was like a sandbag. She was easily knocked to the ground. We are the Akatsuki Organization, we are gods, and the tailed beast in your body is the power we need. The heavenly path of the 6 paths of pain spoke to her slowly. Tailed beast, no, you can't do this. Yukito heard this. Although she didn't know what the plan was, she understood that if this plan could really be implemented, then the entire ninja world would be endangered. Seal. Yukito activated the seal without hesitation. She wanted to seal herself and the tailed beast together. It could be regarded as her struggle before death. If the tailed beast and she were sealed together, the tailed beast would turn into the purest chakra and disappear with her. And if the tailed beast wants to appear again, it will have to wait at least for decades. In this way, the plan of Akatsuki Organization will be crushed. It's just a pity. Her plan is very good. But she can't use it. In front of the Samsara Eye, Yukito has no power to resist at all. When Nagato noticed her intention, he instantly controlled her consciousness. What should we do next? Shiandeo, one of the 6 paths of pain, stood on the head of the outer path demon statue and looked at everyone. At this moment, everyone in the group has gathered. The order of absorbing the tails should be from the 1 to the 9 tails. Now we haven't got the 1 tail yet, and we can't absorb the chakra of the 2 tails for the time being. Now we will separate the 2 tails from his Jinchuriki's body. I will temporarily put the 2 tails in my space and use them as a summoning beast. When we catch the 1 tail, or get the chakra of the 1 tail, we will immediately use the Phantom Dragon 9 sealings. Obito said without hesitation while looking at everyone with a shit yellow mask. After hearing this, everyone no longer hesitated. Each of them made a seal with their hands. A force directly enveloped the two-tailed Jinchuuriki. Ah! Yukito wailed. The two-tailed beast in his body was also wailing. To be extracted from the body of the Jinchuuriki, even the tailed beast would have to endure great pain. And the Jinchuuriki would not be able to bear such pain and would die. Of course, since they had already caught a two-tailed beast, they naturally did not care about the life or death of the Jinchuuriki. As the ninjutsu was performed to the last moment, the two-tailed beast escaped directly from the body of the Jinchuuriki. The body of the wooden man fell heavily on the ground. A mark was smashed on the ground. At this time, all life had been cut off. The wooden man was dead. The two-tailed beast, who had regained his freedom, did not feel the pleasure of regaining his freedom. He looked around with vigilant eyes. What do you want to do? The two-tailed beast looked at them directly and asked. The power of the Jinchuuriki was very strong, but the strength of the man who caught him was even stronger. Even if he tried his best, he could not escape from the man's hand. And now there is another person who is as powerful as this man. There are even more people who can catch him. The two-tailed beast knew that the chance of him escaping from here today was very small. But at least he wanted to know why he was captured. You were originally part of the Outer Path Demon statue, but later you were separated because of the Six Paths Sage. What we have to do now is to make you become a whole again. As for our plan, you will know it soon. Obito looked at the two-tailed beast and smiled coldly. Then his eyes turned into the main Gekyo Sharingan. Before the two-tailed beast could say a word, it was directly controlled by the main Gekyo Sharingan. Then there were folds in the void. Soon the two-tailed beast was received by Obito's Kamui space. Next is the three-tailed beast. This tailed beast is handed over to you, Deidara, Scorpion of the Red Sand. I hope you two can satisfy me next time and don't have any more problems. Obito looked at the two of them and said. Don't worry, there won't be any more problems this time. Right, Scorpion of the Red Sand. Deidara turned around and looked at Scorpion of the Red Sand and said. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 338 Orochimaru's Entanglement. Don't worry, I won't show mercy this time, nor will I be soft-hearted. Scorpion turned away expressionlessly. Deidara followed him and left in silence. Nagato, you have done a great job in capturing the two-tailed beast this time, but you have used too much chakra. Go down and rest quickly. I don't want your body to have any more accidents. You are the most critical link in the entire evolution. Obito looked at Nagato. Okay. Nagato nodded. The Six Paths of Pain also nodded, and then Nagato and Konan left the room together. Only Obito and Black and White Zetsu were left in the room. Obito, are you sure you don't need me to watch over Deidara and Scorpion? This time, capturing the three-tailed beast is also very important to us. Black and White Zetsu looked at Obito and asked with some doubt. After all, every time except for Obito himself, if others went to capture the tailed beast, Black and White Zetsu would definitely follow. But this time, Obito didn't let him go with him. It really surprised him. Nothing, I just think that if there is no outsider to interfere, the two of them will be able to successfully bring back the three-tailed beast, so you don't have to go, and I have a most important task to give you. Obito didn't look at Black and White Zetsu. Instead, he looked out the window. It was always drizzling in the rain village. This drizzle would never stop. The sky around was still gray. Just like Obito's mood. You say. Black and White Zetsu acted respectful. I want you to go to the Uchiha clan and bring out the stone tablet. Obito suddenly said. What? Black and White Zetsu was stunned when he heard this. In fact, when he heard this, he thought his identity had been exposed. But soon, he calmed down. Because Uchiha Madara is dead, he is now considered to be Uchiha Madara as well. And Obito didn't have any evidence of him, so it was impossible to discover his true identity. I want to see what the most perfect plan that Uchiha Madara said before was like at the beginning, and I also want to know what the Six Paths Sage was like. Obito spoke slowly. There was no change in his tone, it was still the same as before. Yes, I will bring the Uchiha clan stone tablet, but that place is Konoha, so I may have to spend some energy. It doesn't matter, you should be careful when you enter Konoha, don't be discovered, Of course, if you can collect some information about Tianyu, it would be great. Obito said. Okay, Black and White Zetsu nodded, and then hid in this oil again, turned around and disappeared. In an instant, Obito was the only one left in the house. At this time, Obito took off his mask. The half of his face full of scars was also exposed. Only when he was alone, Obito's face would show a trace of fatigue. Rin, are you looking at me? Facing me like this, do you feel strange? Obito muttered to himself. It seemed like he was talking to himself, but it also seemed like he was comforting the dead Lin. No, you'd better not look at me, because I'm a stranger to myself now. My name is no longer Uchiha Obito, but I'm not a man anymore. I attacked my teacher and everyone. I'm no longer worthy of being called Uchiha Obito, but don't worry. When the Moon Eye project is realized and everyone gets real peace, I will definitely accompany you, Lin. Obito closed his eyes. He became the Uchiha Madara who killed people without blinking an eye. At the same time in Konoha, Uchiha Itachi is still recovering from his injuries, and his treatment plan has been determined. In the past few days, Hoshirama Senju has been teaching Tsunade some special moves. It can be said that Tsunade is much stronger now than before. And Tobirama Senju is also using his knowledge to help Tsunade and improve herself as much as possible. So the chance of surgery has also increased from 30% at the beginning to 60% later. And now to 80%. It can be said that in this operation, as long as nothing happens, such as the chakra disappears suddenly, or Tsunade falls unconscious, then Uchiha Itachi will be able to survive. And his strength can be restored in a short time. It is also one of the few good news. Of course, in addition to Hoshigaki Kisame, Uchiha Shisu, Amerji, and Uchiha Sasuke, the people who are happy about this good news include Orochimaru. After all, as long as Uchiha Itachi's body can get better, Orochimaru can get a sample of the Sharingan from him. In this way, his experiment can go a step further. Tenno, I've said it so many times, if you want to evolve the 3 Magatama eyes into the most perfect Mangekyo Sharingan, then samples from the Uchiha clan are indispensable, especially samples of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke's Sharingan is only a 2 Magatama 1, and studying his power can only produce defective, ordinary Sharingan. There is no way to exert a stronger power. Only by getting samples of the Mangekyo Sharingan can I make what I research stronger. Shisu's eyes are very special, and samples of his eyes cannot be easily extracted, otherwise it will hurt his eyes. Once Batam is disabled, the loss will be great. So, our next target is only Uchiha Itachi. Of course, if you don't want to give me Uchiha Itachi's sample, you can give me Uchiha Madara's sample. They're all the same Mangekyo Sharingan anyway. Orochimaru looked at Tenryu and said a lot of words in one breath. Hey, Orochimaru, are you tired? You came to my house early in the morning to find me. I haven't even had breakfast yet, but I've heard you say a lot of things. It's rare for you to leave the lab. Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and said helplessly. This guy came to his house early in the morning to get him to agree to get a sample of Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. He was begging him hard. He looked like he would just stay there if he didn't agree. It really gave Tianyu a headache. Not tired, of course not. I've been working in the lab for 24 hours straight. My goal is to get a sample of Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan. As long as you agree to me, I will leave immediately and go back to the lab. I will never bother you again. Orochimaru looked at Tianyu and said with a burning gaze. You guy. Tianyu was even more helpless when he heard this. Chapter 339 News about Sanwei. This guy did everything he could to get a sample of Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. What a man you are. Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and couldn't help shaking his head. Tell me quickly, do you agree or not? Tianyu, don't forget that I got you a lot of good things before, those scrolls of life and the dead soldiers. You also owe me a favor, so now I want to use this favor to ask you to help me get a sample of Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. It should be okay. Seeing that Tianyu had not agreed, Orochimaru changed his routine and started playing the favor card. You really are. Tianyu was speechless again. After all, if he remembered correctly, he helped to get samples of all the things he made. Those samples of the Samsara were taken by him when he defeated Pain 6 Paths in the Rain Village. But it's no use to tell Orochimaru about this now. However, if Orochimaru can get a sample of Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, it will be a good thing for future experiments. Okay, I promise you, After Uchiha Itachi's surgery is over, if his body can get better, I will help you to speak, but don't have any bad ideas, he can't be your vessel. Shianai looked at Orochimaru and warned. Don't worry, I won't use a sick body as my own vessel, I just need to get the sample. Orochimaru couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Oh, by the way, actually I have something to say to you this time, I almost forgot. Orochimaru originally planned to return to the laboratory after getting Shianayu's promise. But after he walked a few steps, he seemed to remember something and came back to look at Shianayu. Go ahead. Shianayu nodded. There is already one tail in the village now, and the two tails are now in the hands of the Kumagakure. That village is not easy to mess with, but the three tails now have no human pillar. After the death of the fourth generation Mizuka Jagara of the Mist Village, the three shadows have been in a wild state. It is much easier to deal with the tailed beasts without help. Moreover, there is a Yukimaru among my subordinates who can resonate with the three tails. If you need it, you can hold the three tails in your hands now. This way, the Akatsuki organization won't worry about it. Orochimaru looked at Shianayu and said. Hearing this, Shianayu recalled the scene in the original work. Not long after the capture of the one-tail Shukaku, the two tails were captured by the immortal duo of Kokuzu and Hiden. But now Kokuzu and Hiden have died in his hands, and it is estimated that someone else will capture the two tails. They will also attack the three tails. And he really wants to collect the tailed beasts and crush the conspiracy of the black and white Zetsu. So naturally he can't miss it. Okay, don't go back to the laboratory yet. Come with me to the Hokage's office. I will call a team to capture the three tails immediately. Shianayu made a choice directly. This kind of thing is naturally the sooner the better. We must not let the Akatsuki organization get the upper hand. And this time, if he can meet Obito, maybe he can try to persuade Obito. The Moon Eye project is basically a 1,000-year conspiracy planned by Black Zetsu, the filial son who wants to release his mother Kaguya Otsutsuki who is imprisoned on the moon. In addition, Black Zetsu also tampered with the stone tablet left by the Six Paths sage. If the truth can be told to Obito, all of this can be stopped. If Kaguya Otsutsuki is not released, the tailed beasts will gather again. After they are prepared, they can completely deal with these alien visitors from the Otsutsuki clan. Okay, after Orochimaru's request was met, he was very easy to talk to. After Shianayu packed up his things, he went to the Hokage's office with him. What did you say? This is absolutely not possible. Tsunade refused directly after hearing what Shianayu said. Why? You obviously know that this is also a great opportunity for Konoha. Shianayu was a little surprised. He just said that this time no one stood on his side and agreed with him. The three tails, although it is in a wild state now. There is no human sacrifice. But the place where he is the land of water, the Mist Village. If the ninjas of Konoha enter the land of water without notifying the land of water, it will easily cause some misunderstandings. In addition, you still have to capture the tailed beasts. If the ninjas there attack you and cause casualties on both sides, it is very likely that the next war will start. Although Konoha is not afraid of war now, this kind of trouble can be avoided, so try to avoid it. Tsunade doesn't want Shianayu to be in danger. Although Tsunade also knows that judging by the current strength in the world, there should not be many people in the world who can hurt Shianayu. Tsunade, I know you are doing this for my own good, but I must go this time, and I have to bring Team 7 with me, because only in this way can I complete my plan earlier and prevent the Akatsuki organization from succeeding. Shianayu looked at Tsunade and said firmly. But what else did Tsunade want to say? But seeing Shianayu's determined look, Tsunade knew that Shianayu had made up his mind. Then nothing could stop him. Okay, but promise me not to take risks. Tsunade nodded in agreement. Don't worry, you know me, and this time we are just going to capture the tailed beasts. Even if we meet those people from the Akatsuki organization, I will not be afraid. Maybe I can pull them to our side. Tianyu said with a smile. Those members of the Akatsuki organization are not unforgivable people. Each of them has his own story. Deidara, he just wanted to prove himself, to prove that he is stronger. Although the bombs he made hurt people, he also wanted to get people's attention. And the Red Sand Scorpion. His parents died tragically when he was young, and the Red Sand Scorpion was also a child who wanted to be loved by his parents. But later he embarked on the evil path and wanted to make people into puppets. Accompany him forever. Because he believes that only eternal things are the most valuable. As for Nagato and Konan, let alone. If Yahiko had not died, the Akatsuki organization would not be what it is now. Then there's Obito. Obito was a very sunny person at the beginning. He wanted to become Hokage. We have to protect the village. He wants to protect the people he cares about. But later a war made him change his attitude. After all, there is no real peace in this world. If there is, it can only be an illusion. Chapter 340, set out to capture the three-tailed beast. That's why Obito agreed to implement the Moon Eye plan that Uchiha Madara mentioned. And he worked hard for it. These people are not really bad. They can still be saved. Go call Team 7. Shianayu gave the order directly. The Anbu beside him nodded. Then very soon, the people of Team 7 had already arrived at the Hokage's office. Sakura, Naruto and Kakashi are naturally needless to say. Although Sasuke is still training with Orochimaru, he is still a member of Team 7. Shianayu wanted to put Sai in Team 7 before. But Naruto didn't agree. Because Sasuke is now only worshipping Orochimaru as his master, he has not left Konoha, he is still a ninja of Konoha. If other people are also put into Team 7, it will be a little difficult for Naruto to adapt. So after thinking about it, Shianayu transferred Sai to another place. Lord Shianayu. Sakura and Kakashi saluted Shianayu. Only Naruto threw himself into Shianayu's arms. Brother Shianayu, long time no see. What are you doing recently? I wanted you to take me on a mission. Well, the Shishinjin, that guy takes me everywhere to collect folk songs every day. I always run away with him. If it weren't for the fact that I was still a child, he might have beaten me up. Naruto looked at Shianayu and began to complain about Jiraiya's various behaviors. After all, Jiraiya was indeed a little unreliable. Although he also taught Naruto all his skills. Okay, I'm taking you there, so just follow me this time. Let me tell you about our next move. We are going to the land of water to capture the Three Tails. The Three Tails now has no human pillar, which is very beneficial for our actions, but at the same time, we did not get the consent of the Mist Village to enter the land of water this time. So you have to be careful about everything and keep a low profile as much as possible. If you encounter a ninja from the Mist Village, try to avoid them if you can. If you can't avoid them, knock them out. Don't kill anyone unless it's absolutely necessary. Shianayu ordered. Great, I can finally leave Konoha and have some fun. Naruto nodded heavily after hearing this. But what he cared about was whether he could leave Konoha and go to other countries. Kakashi and Sakura couldn't help but frown when they heard this. Lord Amaji, do you mean we should take all the tailed beasts? Sakura asked anxiously. Hinata is the new first-tailed Jinchuriki. Although it has not been announced. But everyone is not stupid. Occasionally when they train together, they can still find clues. But Konoha has already issued a gag order. Even if they know, they can't tell it. But everyone is still a little unhappy. Especially Sakura and the others. They are born as civilians. If their own strength is not good enough, they may never turn over in their lives. Sakura is lucky. She is assigned to the same class as Sasuke and Naruto. Amaji is Naruto's elder brother. And Sasuke is valued by Amaji. Kakashi, needless to say, has long become the backbone of the village. Under such circumstances, Sakura also got her wish and became a disciple of Tsunade, learning medical ninjutsu from her teacher. But she knew that this was not enough. With her strength, even if she learned super strength, she could not be compared with Naruto and Sasuke. She could only make herself stronger. And there was only one way to make a person stronger, besides acquired efforts. That was to become the Jinchuriki of the tailed beast. And among these juniors, Hinata has become the Jinchuriki of the one-tailed beast. So is it their turn next? If possible, will she also have the opportunity to become a Jinchuriki? Almost. Collecting all the tailed beasts is also a very important thing for me, so you have to do your best next. Shianayu nodded. Then, Sakura wanted to say something. But when she saw that Shianayu and the others were ready to leave, Sakura had to swallow her words. No more words. Shianayu. Don't forget, if you go to the Mist Village, go find a woman named Honglian. The child she carries is called Yaogimaru, and that child can lead you to find the Three Tails. Orochimaru looked at Shianayu and said. Don't worry. Shianayu nodded. Then he turned around and left the Hokage's office with this kind of person. When Shianayu walked out, Tsunade finally understood why Shianayu suddenly wanted to capture the Three Tails. Orochimaru, what did you say to Shianayu? Tsunade covered her fist and questioned Orochimaru while laughing. That, Tsunade, I remember that there seems to be something I haven't finished in my laboratory. I'm going back now. Orochimaru looked at Tsunade fearfully, then turned around and wanted to leave. Come back to me. I tell you, next time if you dare to provoke Tianyu to do these things again, I will definitely pull out all your hair. Tsunade looked at Orochimaru and said. Yes, yes, yes. Orochimaru could only nod helplessly. At the speed of Tianyu and his team, it would take at least 5 days for the Mist Village to travel from Konoha to the Land of Water. Fortunately, Tianyu used the Flying Thunder God technique to bring them to the Land of Waves, which is closest to the Land of Water. Starting from here can save them a lot of time. And the Land of Waves is also a place full of memories for Naruto. Brother Tianyu, since we are here, why don't we go and see Desna and the others? I want to see how they are doing now. Naruto looked at the bridge that had been built a long time ago and couldn't help but say to Tianyu. Okay, let's go. Tianyu nodded. This is also the place where all his plans started, and Tianyu also missed it very much. Let's go. Naruto cheered, and then rushed into the village like a cannonball. Naruto, wait for us. Seeing this, Sakura and Kakashi shook their heads and followed Naruto helplessly. As for Tianyu, he had already rushed into the village when he finished talking to Naruto. A small house on the beach. This place is no longer the shabby hut they lived in before, but has been renovated into a nice cabin. All kinds of equipment inside are in place. Even the boat has been replaced with a big one. Desna is now sitting on the bow of the boat untying the fishing net. There are many fish in the big blue net. Chapter 341, The Old Land of Wave Country. Uncle Desna, we came to see you, but you have gained a lot today. Naruto was the first to rush to Desna, looking at him and smiling. Ah, it's Naruto, you have grown a lot taller, and you look much stronger than before. Desna also smiled when he saw Naruto like this. That's right, I have been training hard every day since I went back, whether at home or in the village. I have been training well with the Sessinin, and my elder brother. Oh, by the way, this time brother Tianyu also came to see you. Naruto said and walked in front of Tianyu and the others and smiled. What do you mean Tianyu is here too? Desna heard this and looked at Tianyu. He was excited all of a sudden. After all, if there was no Team 7, who knows what would happen to the Land of Waves. I'm afraid that now it has been made miserable by Cardo. How can they live a good life? Yes, uncle, long time no see. Tianyu looked at the uncle in front of him and said with a smile. It was only a year ago that the previous events happened. But now it seems like a lifetime ago when I think back on them. Many things happened in Konoha in the past year. The third Hokage died, and Danzo also died. The power of Konoha was completely reshuffled. Konoha will be better now than before. Yes, it's been a long time since we last met. You guys should be on a mission in the Land of Waves this time. If there's anything I can do for you, just tell me. We're all thinking about repaying Konoha's kindness now. By the way, I caught a lot of fish today. Don't leave tonight, stay for dinner. I'll call everyone over and let everyone thank you. Desna said with a smile. No need to eat. We have something important to do now. We have to rush to the Land of Water. But can you find a boat for us, uncle? Tianyu asked with a smile. Of course, what we have the most here is boats. If you want to go to the Land of Water, I will take you there tonight. Recently, there has been some problems with the current in the ocean. The sea has become very turbulent. If you go directly there, ordinary small boats will be swept in. You can only find some sailors who are familiar with the road to go through the small path. It happens that I just came back from fishing in that area and I am very familiar with it. Let me take you there. Desna didn't say much after hearing this. He directly arranged a boat to take Tianyu and the others away. Thank you very much, uncle. Tianyu smiled and nodded. Yes, if it weren't for you, uncle, we would still have to look for a big ship all over the world, and even if we found it, we wouldn't know the news, and we might suffer a lot in the sea. Naruto also smiled when he heard this. No, if it was ninjas from other villages, if they came to us to find a boat, maybe they would be like this. After all, our wave country is now trading with the 5 major countries, and there is a lot of business to do. It's not that easy to free up a boat. But this is your Konoha, you have helped us so much, let alone sending you to the water country. Even if I give you the boat, it's okay, but it's a pity. Tatsuya, that kid, used to talk about wanting to see brother Naruto and brother Shianayu every day. These 2 days he went out to sea to fish with Zio Sanzi. It seems that there is no way to see them. Dazna was a little emotional. But he was still very happy in his heart. After all, he met his long-lost benefactor. There will be a chance in the future. Shianayu smiled. Then wait a moment, I'll pack up and send you away. Dazna smiled. Then he went to pick up the fish on the fishing net. When he was almost done, he rowed a boat and sent Shianayu and the others away from the port. Night. There was already a thick fog on the sea, a vast expanse of white. It was hard to see the surroundings clearly. But Dazna knew this sea area very well. So it was no big deal to sail at night. Brother Shianayu, look, there are so many fish. Naruto pointed at the school of fish on the side of the boat and said in surprise. What? Shianayu looked in the direction of Naruto's finger. Indeed, there were many schools of fish. The schools of fish were all swimming to other places. It didn't look like they were swimming, but rather like they were running for their lives. And there were no big fish predators such as sharks following behind these schools of fish. This was a bit strange. Alice, it's a pity that we can't fish this time when we send you here. Otherwise, if we put down the fishing net, you will return with a full load again. Dazna looked at the school of fish and felt sorry. After all, it would be too easy to catch such a school of fish. Shianayu was stunned for a moment after hearing this. Then he walked in front of Dazna. Uncle, tell me, are all the fish like this recently? Yes, I don't know what happened to this ocean recently. The climate of the ocean currents has changed very quickly, and some freshwater fish have come here. Although there are not many, you can still see 1 or 2 every time. More importantly, these fish gather together, which makes them very easy to catch. It's much easier than before. Dazna talked about what happened in the ocean recently. Master Shianayu, have you thought of something? Kakashi asked anxiously when he saw Shianayu like this. Nothing, but it should be similar to what I guessed. Shianayu shook his head, then nodded. Okay, let's not talk about this. We'll be in the land of water soon. You guys hurry up and prepare. Orochimaru gave us the contact information with Honglian. When we go to the land of water, we must contact Honglian and the little ghost named Yaokimaru as soon as possible. Remember, this time our action can only succeed, not fail, and we must win with 1 strike. Otherwise, if those who mistake us for us catch our traces, it will also be bad for Konoha's reputation. Shianayu reminded. Yes. Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura nodded heavily. Seeing that Tengo and the others were so cautious, Dazna stopped chatting with them. Instead, he sped up the ship, bypassing dangerous places in the ocean and passing through reefs. After a day and a night of sailing, they finally arrived at a port in the land of water. This port originally belonged to a small village. But later, the Mist Village launched the Blood Mist method. This method affected other villages. Chapter 342 Red Lotus. Slowly, the village has been abandoned. Now no one lives in the village. Occasionally, some people pass by and leave quickly. After all, there was a massacre in this village before. Most of the villagers were killed. Every night when passing by here, you can hear the ghosts roaring. No one dares to approach. We're here. Dazna stopped the boat. Thank you, uncle, you can go back now, don't wait for us here, we will find another way when we go back, and be careful when you go back. This is 10,000 yuan. Let's go, Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura. Shianayu and Dazna thanked him. After leaving him some money, they took the celebrities and rushed to the Mist Village urgently. Alice. Dazna sighed as he watched them leave. He didn't want the money. But he couldn't catch up with them. Looking at the empty village around him and listening to the roar of the wind around him, Dazna turned around and went back to the land of waves. After all, he would be scared if he stayed in this haunted village for a long time. Lord Shianayu, can you tell me this time what you were thinking when you saw those schools of fish on the boat before? Kakashi walked up to Shianayu and asked directly. Of course, the 3-tailed beast should be active recently. Through those schools of fish, we know the activities of the 3-tailed beast, which disturbed many schools of fish that originally lived in the lake, forcing them to flee to the sea. In the end, they were caught by some ocean currents. When they reach the sea, this means that the whereabouts of the 3-tailed beast will soon be caught by the Mist Village. We have to speed up. It will take at least half a day to go to the Mist Village from here. I hope everyone can work hard and don't drag their feet. When saying this, Tianyu glanced at Sakura. To be honest, if Sakura was not a member of Team 7, Tianyu would not bring Sakura with him. After all, he never had a good impression of Sakura. In the original work, Sakura has always been a guy who can only drag his feet. When there is trouble, it is Naruto, and when there is nothing, it is Sasuke. And she is also a double standard dog. Although Sakura played a role in the fight against a naive person at the end. But this does not make Tianyu not hate her. It's just that he is in the village now. If he directly hates someone, that person will be isolated by the whole village. It will be inappropriate at that time. In addition, Sakura herself is a person who doesn't care. It doesn't matter whether she is brought along or not. Naturally, Kakashi will watch her. Yes. Don't worry, brother Tianyu, we will not hold you back. Naruto is very confident. He has not learned from Jiraiya in vain these days. With his current strength, he can completely deal with a Jonin. With the addition of teacher Kakashi and Zioing, they will definitely become stronger in the future. And he has to surpass Sasuke, far surpass him. In this way, he will not be called the last one by Sasuke. It can also let Sasuke see how strong he is. On the contrary, after Sakura looked at Tianyu's eyes again, she couldn't help biting her lip. Although Tianyu did not say who was holding the team back, Sakura knew. The person was talking about herself. In fact, she had been working hard to learn medical knowledge from Tsunade these days. The purpose was to become stronger and not hold everyone back. But now it seems that although there are some results, it is still not enough to keep up with Naruto and Kakashi. This makes Sakura yearn for the tailed beast even more. If she can become the three-tailed Jinchuriki, does this mean that she can become stronger? Okay. Tianyu nodded, and everyone set off together. No one spoke along the way. Everyone also tried to keep their breath as low as possible. After half a day of rushing, they finally arrived at the Mist Village. However, the Mist Village is just the vicinity of the Mist Village. There is a lot of fog around here. The visibility is very low. Send a message to Honglian. Tianyu looked at Kakashi. Okay. Kakashi nodded. Then he fired a flare directly into the sky. This flare is specially made, and no light or color will appear under the sun. But Honglian can detect the special traces of this flare. When he knows it, he will take the initiative to contact. After sending the flare, everyone hid and rested on the spot. Half an hour later, a woman with red hair and a ponytail came to them. Come out, I am Honglian. After the woman said this, she used her ability to condense a crystal wall on the spot. This is Honglian's ability. It is her blood limit. Sure enough, there are no normal people under Orochimaru. They are all blood limit masters. Tianyu let everyone out. You are the people from Konoha that Orochimaru said, right? Orochimaru has already told me your purpose. If you want to catch the three-tailed beast, the indispensable person is Yagimaru, but Yagimaru has not been in good health recently and cannot use chakra for a long time, so I ask you to be moderate. Let's go, I will take you to where I live next. After saying this, Honglian turned around and left without waiting for Tianyu and the others to speak. Tianyu had no choice but to follow Honglian. Did you come here under the order of Orochimaru? Kakashi kept asking Honglian questions along the way. After all, they did take a big risk by coming to the Mist Village. If Honglian had already betrayed, it was very likely that they would be led into a trap. Although Tianyu and Kakashi would not be afraid of such a trap, it was better to avoid it as soon as possible. Yes, I was rescued by Lord Orochimaru on the battlefield, and later I became Lord Orochimaru's subordinate. Lord Orochimaru's base is here. Although it was abandoned in the later period, I have been guarding here. I discovered Yaokimaru. Lord Orochimaru said that he should have some kind of relationship with the Three Tails. I hated him at the beginning. That kid is sickly and looks like he will not survive, but after getting along with him for a long time, I also think it's not bad to have a little kid to accompany me. Now I regard him as my relative. I know Lord Orochimaru has given the order, but I also want to ask you to be careful. If anything happens to Yaokimaru after I teach you, I will not let you go even if I die. Chapter 343 Ghost Pill. I hope you can keep your word. Honglian was relieved after hearing this. You seem to care about that little ghost named Yaogimaru. Tianyu looked at Honglian and said with a smile. Nothing, I am here to guard the base. He and I are dependent on each other. Over time, we will naturally develop a close relationship. Honglian did not want to talk about her past. After getting Tianyu's promise, she took them to Orochimaru's base. This base was hidden in a cave that had long been abandoned. This cave was the base of the Mist Village in the past. Later, some rebellions occurred in the Mist Village and it was abandoned. Then it was occupied by Orochimaru. Honglian took them into the base. He pushed open the door of Yaogimaru's room. There were not many things in the base, but it was decorated very warmly. It was like a child's room. On the contrary, Honglian's own place was very simple. In Yaogimaru's room, there was a camellia made of crystal stone at the head of his bed. It can be seen that Yaogimaru treasured this thing very much. He would take it with him wherever he went. Sister Honglian, you're back. Yaogimaru looked at Honglian. When he saw the people behind Honglian, he was stunned for a moment. Then he smiled and greeted them. Hello. Hello. Naruto also smiled and waved to Yaogimaru. It seemed that Yaogimaru felt the sunshine on Naruto, and he was not so afraid. Well, I'm back, Yaogimaru, remember what I told you before. Honglian squatted in front of Yaogimaru, leaned forward, and looked at him. Remember, Sister Honglian said that some people will come in 2 days and ask me to use my ability to help them find something. I have been preparing for it. Are they? Yaogimaru said naively. Obviously he didn't know what the unique relationship between him and the Three Tails meant. Yes, they are them, Yaogimaru, don't worry, they will leave after they find the things, and then I will continue to accompany you. Honglian said with a smile. Okay, I will listen to Sister Honglian. Yaogimaru smiled and nodded. I have already made an agreement with Yaogimaru. Please remember what you said, Lord Amerji, otherwise I will not let you go even if I become a ghost. Honglian stood up and said this to Dishang when he passed in front of Amerji. Amerji did not answer, but walked in front of Yaogimaru. As an ordinary person, he could resonate with the tailed beast. This is enough to show that something unusual must have happened to the Yaogimaru in front of him. Lord Amerji. Yaogimaru looked at Amerji and was a little nervous. Yaogimaru had been in poor health since he was a child, and he spent at least 4 months a year in bed. When he felt the powerful chakra in Amerji's body, he also felt a little scared. His body was shaking slightly. This was an instinctive reaction. Don't be afraid, let's set off tomorrow. Let's all rest today and set off to look for it tomorrow. Amerji rubbed Yaogimaru's head and said. Okay. Naruto cheered. Kakashi and Sakura also nodded. After all, they were going to capture the tailed beast, although this matter was a sure thing for them. But everything has to be done to be foolproof. Come with me, I'll arrange a room for you. Honglian said, turning around and leading them out of Yaogimaru's room. Goodbye. Naruto turned around and said hello to Yaogimaru, then followed Tianyu and the others out of the room. The environment of this abandoned base is not very good. The room that Honglian arranged for them was just roughly cleaned up. But for ninjas, this is already very good. Dinner is rice balls. It is worth mentioning that these rice balls were prepared for Tianyu early in the morning. Put them in the space, no matter how long they are taken out, they are the same as freshly made. It tastes much better than the soldiers' food balls. Naruto ate 3 rice balls in one breath and choked. Eat slowly, is there anyone trying to eat so fast with you? Tianyu said helplessly when he saw Naruto like this. Who said that? Kakashi-sensei also ate a lot. Naruto drank water while trying to swallow the rice balls in his mouth. You guys. Tianyu could only shake his head helplessly when he heard this. Lord Amerji, the situation of Yaogimaru seems to be very special. He has some special physique that can attract the three-tailed beast. Perhaps we should investigate it. Kakashi has been thinking about Yaogimaru's situation. Although the tailed beast has its own body, it is at most made up of chakra. It has no kinship with humans at all. It is impossible for it to be an offspring. So there must be a reason for it to have such a connection with a human boy. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we just need to catch the three-tailed beast back. As for Yaogimaru, don't worry about it. When I saw him today, I actually checked his body. His body is extremely weak and can't accommodate any chakra at all. And judging from his physical strength, he will not live beyond the age of 15. He does have the chakra of the three-tailed beast in his body, and it is wrapped around his heart. It can be said that he, in fact, is the culprit for his body becoming like this. All this should be related to his mother. Amerji looked at Kakashi and said, What, brother Tianyu, then you should look at me quickly. Kurama is not the same, right? Naruto was a little anxious after hearing this. After all, there is also the 9 tails in his body. And recently, under Tianyu's teaching, he has also tried to talk to the 9 tails. He wants to be able to influence the 9 tails. But it didn't work. After all, the 9 tails has lived in this world for so many years. It has experienced countless Jinchuuriki. It has seen the warmth and coldness of the world. Of course, it will not change because of a few words from a little brat like Naruto. But how to say it? The 9 tails will soon feel really good. After all, no matter what it is really good in essence. Of course, this is all later. Let's not talk about it for now. Your body is fine, the 9 tails is very healthy and stays in your body. Tianyu said with a smile. That's good. Naruto smiled. Okay, go to bed early tonight, we have to set out to find the 3 tails early tomorrow morning. After Tianyu said this, he drove everyone to bed. He also closed his eyes and began to rest. The next morning, after eating the breakfast prepared by Honglian, Tianyu and the others took Yaogimaru to a lake in the land of water. Chapter 344 Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion. This lake is very deep. The outlet is connected to the ocean. If the 3-tailed beast wants to hide, it can only hide here. The closer to this lake, the more uncomfortable Yuukuin felt. Yuukuin grabbed his heart. He began to feel some pain. Yuukuin, how are you? Seeing this, Honglian hurried to Yuukuin and asked while holding his hand tightly. Sister Honglian, I'm fine. I can still hold on. Yuukuin replied with a pale face. This scene made Honglian very distressed. Take this and you will feel better. Sakura took out a pill from the package she carried with her. As a medical ninja, she naturally had to keep some pills on her body so that she could treat her teammates in the first place. Honglian took it without hesitation and gave it to Yuukuin. But after Yuukuin took the pill, he felt even more uncomfortable. It was as if there was a flame burning in his body. It hurt a lot. Yuukuin let out a loud roar. Then the whole person was wrapped in a red light. Yukimaru. Seeing this, Honglian was about to hug Yukimaru. Then he heard a huge force in the lake rushing up rapidly. Hold on to the boat. After Tianyu said this, he stood up directly, holding Rinmaru in his hand. Dragon gunpowder. As Ibaraki's ice blade was released, the blue light and the huge object below collided directly. There was only a bang. The surrounding lake water continued to surge. The waves threw the small boat into the sky. Then it quickly fell on the lake. The people on the boat were like riding a roller coaster, holding on to the boat tightly. Naruto and Kakashi both held each other tightly. However, Sakura didn't hold on tightly and fell out of the boat directly. She was turned to the bottom of the water by the waves. Sakura. Naruto wanted to jump down when he saw this, and Sakura pulled him back. But he was stopped by Kakashi. The seabed must be turbulent at the moment. If Naruto went down, he might not be able to come back. Lord Amaji, Sakura fell into the water. Kakashi shouted loudly while looking at Amaji in the sky. Got it. Hearing this, Amaji felt helpless. He had told them to hold the boat firmly, but something went wrong. In a hurry, he did not hesitate. He jumped into the water directly. Fortunately, the waves at the bottom of the lake were not surging. Sakura was not swept deep. She was quickly caught by Amaji and brought out of the water. Sandwich was also affected by Amaji's power and smashed hard on the ice. The power of Rinmaru made most of the lake water freeze. Being smashed on the ice at this moment, it was like a fish out of water. The largest body fell on the ice, with only some tentacles still in the water. But those places were already frozen. Obviously, with just one blow, the 3-tailed beast had already fallen into a disadvantage. Catch it. Amaji handed Sakura to Kakashi. Then he walked step by step to the front of the 3-tailed beast. At the same time, Deidara and Scorpion were also on their way to the land of water. I don't know what the 3-tail is capable of, but it doesn't look like it's much harder to deal with than the 1-tail. What's more, if the tailed beast doesn't have a Jinchuuriki, the difficulty will be at least reduced by half. This time, there shouldn't be any risk in our mission. Deidara said confidently. After all, if it weren't for Amaji, they would have taken the 1-tail back long ago when they were trying to capture Shukaku, the 1-tail. They wouldn't have been scolded by Nagato and the others. Don't underestimate the enemy. No matter what happens, you have to prepare for the worst. Otherwise, you'll be in a mess. After Amber was broken, Scorpion never used the other puppets again. He always kept his original appearance. This also made Deidara's attitude towards him much better. After all, no one wants their companion to be an ugly monster. Although Scorpion has a baby face, he is much better looking than Ember. So what? Nagato and his men are there to contain the Mist Village. We just need to do our best to capture the tailed beasts. Unless Tengo is here this time, how can we lose? Deidara looked unconcerned. After all, as long as Tengo is not there, even if the Mist Village finds them, he has the confidence to leave. Don't be a pessimist, otherwise, it is very likely that we will encounter Tengo. Although the Three Tails has no human pillar now, he must live in the lake, and the power of water escape will be doubled. Your bombs are useless in the water, so prepare a plan first. The Red Sand Scorpion replied. Okay, got it. Deidara waved his hand impatiently. Then he and the Red Sand Scorpion continued to go to the Mist Village. The two of them were not slow. They soon arrived at the Mist Village. It looks like the Three Tails should be there. Wait for me to go over and blow up the Three Tails, and then you can take action. After saying this, Deidara was about to go directly over. But he was stopped by the Red Sand Scorpion. Don't go over there. What's wrong with you? Our mission this time is to capture the Three Tails, but now that we're here, you won't let me out. Deidara looked at the Red Sand Scorpion with some surprise. Someone's coming. The Red Sand Scorpion didn't bother with Deidara, just said this and took him to hide in the bushes. What happened next was that the Ghost Maru suddenly exploded and the three-dimensional appeared. Then he was beaten without hesitation. Why is Tianyu here? Deidara looked at Tianyu and the others and was stunned for a moment. How should I know, but it seems that their goal is also for the Three Tails. The Red Sand Scorpion's face was solemn. After experiencing what happened last time, they knew that Tianyu was extremely powerful. It was not realistic to want to snatch the Three Tails from him. Unless all the Akatsuki organizations gathered together. Otherwise, the two of them could only deliver food to others. But if they didn't take action, their mission this time would fail. I don't know how to explain to Nagato after returning. What should we do? Deidara was a little angry. This Tianyu always comes out to cause trouble when they are on a mission. He is simply trying to make things difficult for the two of them. What else can we do? Leave quickly, otherwise the two of us will become hidden in angle. After saying this, Scorpion turned around and was about to leave. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 345, Sealing the Three Tails, Part 1. As the saying goes, if there is a green mountain, there will be no shortage of firewood. What? We are just going back like this? You have to think it through. We failed to capture the One Tail last time. This time, we didn't make a move and just went back in disgrace. What kind of punishment will we receive after we go back? Last time, Conan spoke for us, but this time, I guess even Conan will be disappointed in us. Deidara looked at him in disbelief when he heard what the Red Sand Scorpion said. After all, they failed in their mission once or twice, but not 3 times. And they knew Uchiha Madara's temper. If they really angered him, the two of them would definitely not have a good ending. So, think of any good ideas you have. If you have any, I can listen to you if you are sure you can defeat Amaji. The Red Sand Scorpion looked at Deidara. He said unhappily. Amaji's strength is very strong. His strength alone is enough to match tens of thousands of people. Even in the future, his strength will be able to surpass the god of ninja, Senju Hoshirama. His strength has reached the pinnacle of the ninja world and cannot be described as super shadow level. How can they fight him like this? I'm afraid that even if they die together, it's impossible. I don't care. Even if I can't think of a solution, we must not go back, otherwise we will be punished. Deidara couldn't say a solution, but they absolutely couldn't go back like this. Okay, then let's observe for a while and see if we can find an opportunity. But I advise you to give up this idea. If you want to die, don't drag me. The Red Sand Scorpion nodded helplessly and agreed to Deidara's words. The two of them stood aside, not daring to speak. Waiting for an opportunity. Tianyu here. Sakura is taking care of Yaokimaru, who is lying in Honglian's arms. The whole person looks extremely weak. What's wrong? Honglian looked at Sakura anxiously and asked. She and Yaokimaru have depended on each other for so many years. If Yaokimaru gets into trouble, she really doesn't know what to do. Nothing, judging from his physical condition, he should have been overworked. He is in good health now, but he needs to rest well after he goes back. Don't let him work too hard. Sakura checked Yaokimaru and said after checking his body. Okay. Honglian nodded immediately after hearing this, and then turned to look at Yaokimaru. After you go back these few days, you have to rest well for me, and you must not run away again. Do you hear me? Honglian looked at Yaokimaru and warned. Well, don't worry, Sister Honglian, I will definitely work hard to take care of my body. Don't forget that I still want to live a good life with Sister Honglian. Since my mother died, Sister Honglian has been the closest person to me. I will definitely listen to Sister Honglian's words. Yaokimaru smiled. Although his face was pale, he looked very happy. Yes, you have to be well. Just now, Brother Shianai also said that as long as we catch the three-tailed beast, your body will recover and you will be able to run and jump. I tell you, if you have the opportunity to come to Konoha, I will definitely treat you to Chiraku ramen, which is simply the most delicious thing in the world. Naruto smiled brightly, looking at Yaokimaru, and couldn't help saying, well, I'm looking forward to it. Yaokimaru likes Naruto very much. Naruto has a feeling of sunshine on his body, warm and comfortable. Just when Naruto, Yaokimaru, Sakura and the other four were talking on the side. Kakashi stood aside, alert to the ninjas that might appear around at any time. After all, the noise they made just now was really loud. If the Mist Village found out, they would definitely send ninjas here. At the same time in the Mist Village, Tirumi was discussing things with her subordinates. Now the Mist Village has long abandoned the blood mist method, but because it lasted for too long, the village is now in a period of transition. There are only a few dozen ninjas who can display their strength. The rest have not grown up yet and cannot take up the responsibility. Mizuki-sama, if possible, I think we can find someone to be the Three Tails Jinchuriki. Since the death of the fourth Mizuki-sama, the Three Tails has been in a wild state because the village has not had the experience to recover the Three Tails before. But now that we have this ability, we should take back the Three Tails. In this way, not only will the village have one more cage-level strong man, but we can also have more bargaining chips. The situation outside is very complicated now. The Cloud Village, the Rock Village, the Sand Village, and even Konoha may go to war at any time. So we have to take some precautions here. Quing looked at Tirumi and said. One of his eyes is the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan's main family found on the battlefield. There is only one, and it is extremely precious. Being able to transplant it to him also proves his status in the Mist Village. I know. I've been thinking about this recently. The village really needs fighting power. Although Chijiro is very powerful, he is the only one left. The Mist Village has only recovered 5 of the 7 swords of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and the rest are still scattered outside. These are all hidden dangers for us, so I decided to lead the team to capture the Three Tails in person. You can see if you can find a suitable Three Tails Jinchuriki in the village. It's best to be a child. Children are very malleable. If possible, it's best to be a child. Tirumi ordered. Don't worry, I will try my best to find it. Quing nodded. Yes. After nodding, Tirumi planned to capture the Three Tails alone. The Three Tails has no Jinchuriki now, and he will definitely not be his opponent if he fights alone. However, when Tirumi was about to leave, she felt a powerful force coming from the lake. The internal force was extremely huge. Although it was mixed with the chakra of the Three Tails, it was definitely not something that the Three Tails could exert. What's going on? Tirumi was stunned when she sensed this power. Anbu, check it out quickly, what's going on? Quing immediately ordered someone to investigate. Yes. After hearing this, the Anbu immediately turned around and left. 10 minutes later, the Anbu returned to the Mizukiji's office again. Mizuki-sama, there is something wrong with the lake where the Three Tails is hiding. It seems that someone is fighting with the Three Tails there. Chapter 346, Seal the Three-Tailed Fox. The Anbu quickly told the news he knew. What? Hearing this, Tirumi slammed the table on the spot. The Three Tails belongs to the Mist Village, and now someone wants to take the Three Tails away. This is simply not taking them seriously. Anbu, assemble. I want to see who dares to touch the Three Tails. After saying this, Tirumi left the Hokage's office directly and rushed to the lake. Behind Madarumi, the Anbu followed. Qing looked at Madarumi's back. Suddenly he sighed. The mist village is in a turbulent time, and such a thing happened again, which is really uncomfortable. Three Tails Isabu, now that you have become my defeated general, you must accept your fate. Next, I will take you to Konoha and let you have a new Jinchuuriki. Shianai walked in front of the Three Tails, looked at him, and said slowly. The huge body of the Three Tails is more than 50 times that of Shianayu. But at this moment, the Three Tails can only lie in front of Shianayu. He can't do anything at all. If he wants to fight, he will not be Shianayu's opponent. It sounds good, but it's just the law of the jungle. Since I've been defeated by you, there's nothing to say. Just take me back and seal me in the body of the Jinchuuriki. Anyway, I have lived like this for thousands of years, and I don't mind living for a few more decades. The Three Tails sneered when he heard this. When the Six-Path Sage created them, his original intention was to let them help humans. But these people sealed their power into their bodies and used it for themselves. In the end, they said that these tailed beasts were evil. But it was humans who harmed the tailed beasts from the beginning to the end, and if humans did not go too far, how could the tailed beasts massacre them? No, I don't think you understood what I meant. I meant to take you back and let you have a Jinchuuriki, but I will not seal you in the body of a human. Instead, I want you to coexist. The Jinchuuriki can use all your power, and you can use the power of the Jinchuuriki at the same time. To achieve a mutually dependent relationship, rather than a unilateral demand for being sealed. Shianai looked at the Three Tails and said with a smile. Oh, then your idea is too naive? Even if I am taken back by you now, you only need to choose one person, and if the Jinchuuriki does not seal me, I will make that person's life worse than death. And even if I agree to you, what about your villagers? For thousands of years, I have seen the ups and downs of human nature in this world, and I have long known that when facing the tailed beasts, even your dear family, friends and even brothers will turn against you in an instant. They will think that there is a monster living in your body, and then you will become a monster. At the beginning, these Jinchuuriki may still have good intentions and want to live a normal life, but as time goes by, they will know that what they want is simply a fantasy. No one will accept them, so later my Jinchuuriki either found out that others could not find them, or locked themselves up early. Some of them were even received by their relatives, but when they went berserk because they could not control the chakra in their bodies, their relatives would become the ones who hurt them the most, because they would shout monsters and then walk away. They don't care about the original family affection at all. So you say, after I have seen so much of the ups and downs of human nature, do you think it is possible for me to coexist with a Jinchuuriki? It is impossible. The Three Tails decisively rejected Tenayu's words. That's not necessarily true. As long as you exchange sincerity for sincerity, you will definitely succeed. What's more, Konoha today is no longer the world of hundreds of years ago. You shouldn't look at it with prejudice. Tenyu said with a smile. What the Three Tails said was also said by the One Tails. And now the One Tails Jinchuuriki is living well in Konoha. With the success of the One Tails, Tenyu believes that sooner or later the Three Tails will also be willing to stay in Konoha. The Three Tails was dismissive of Tenayu's words. Tenyu didn't say anything more to the Three Tails. He took out the sealing scroll and was about to take the Three Tails away temporarily. Lava escape, magma flow. A stream of hot magma hit Tenayu's position almost instantly. And this ninjutsu also stopped Tenayu's action to recover the Three Tails. Shield of Gaia. Shianayu had no time to dodge, and took out the Gaia shield to block all the ninjutsu. By the way, he also protected the three-tailed beast. After the ninjutsu disappeared, Shianayu put the Gaia shield aside, then raised his head and looked at the woman who launched the ninjutsu on him. 5th generation Mizukage, long time no see, you are still so beautiful and charming. Shianayu looked at Terumi Mei and said with a smile. Haha, Shianayu brother just likes to tell jokes, but you are telling the truth, I am very happy. Terumi Mei laughed after hearing Shianayu's words. Being called a beauty, she was naturally in a good mood. Since you are happy, why don't you explain what is going on? Why did you attack me directly when we just met? Shianayu asked with a smile. This is very simple, because you want to attack the three-tailed beast. You have the scroll that seals the three-tailed beast in your hand. Tell me, where are you going to take the three-tailed beast? Meidarumi's face changed instantly when she heard what Tenyu said. And at this moment, Deidara and Akashi who were in the bushes seemed to have found an opportunity. The Mizukage is here, and it looks like a huge conflict will break out soon. By that time, we may be able to take advantage of the situation and take the three tails away," said the scorpion after observing the surroundings. "If they want to take the three away, they can either seal it up and take it away, or send its entire huge body out together. If they want to seal it, it will take some time, and the three-tail cannot struggle. Fortunately, the three-tail has been subdued by Tianyu now, and even if they take action, the three-tail will not resist. But the bad news is, the 5th generation Mizukage is obviously coming for the three-tail. If they want to fish in troubled waters, they must wait for a perfect opportunity. And they must succeed once and for all, and they must not fail. Otherwise, the two of them may have to accept the pincer attack of Tianyu and Mizukage. Tianyu is already very powerful, and the two of them together are not his opponent. If a Mizukage is added to them, it will undoubtedly make their situation worse. Chapter 347 Negotiating Conditions. Okay. Deidara was not a reckless person. He nodded immediately after hearing what the red sand scorpion said. The two continued to watch everything in the bushes, waiting for the opportunity to take the initiative. Since you have seen it, I will tell you the truth. I want to take the three-tailed beast back to Konoha. Tianyu looked at Terumi and said without hesitation. Take it back to Konoha. The three-tailed beast belongs to the Mist Village. Even if the current three-tailed beast does not have a Jinchuriki, I don't think this is a reason for you to take him back. Konoha is now strong enough. You still want to take all the tails back. Do you really want Konoha to become the master of the world? Terumi heard this and gritted her teeth. The current situation of the 5 major countries is special. Konoha can be said to be the strongest on the surface now, and then there's the Cloud Village. That village is decorated with physical skills and has strong physical strength. In addition, their lightning shield contains some blood limit ninjas who are also very powerful. And the tradition of their village can be said to be very united. The attitude towards the tailed beast Jinchuriki is also completely different. It is a big worry. As for the Iwagakure, Inoki, the 2 great masters, is now in charge of the Iwagakure. Although he is just an old man now, he has the bloodline elimination. Once the dust release is used, if you don't have some skills, you will be reduced to ashes and disappear. There is no need to talk about the Sand Village now. The previous Sand Village was indeed very strong, but without the 4th Kazakage, and the attack on Konoha, the forces suffered heavy casualties. The Sand Village is probably the weakest village on the surface. But because of the alliance with Konoha, other villages cannot attack it. The stronger Konoha has become in recent years, the more fearful other villages have become. Terumi is really afraid that one day he will hear the news that Konoha is going to attack all ninja villages. In this way, all ninja villages will disappear. How can she face the modern Mizukage? Tianyu did not deny this sentence. He just took a deep look at Terumi. If Konoha doesn't take the tailed beast away now, someone else will come to take it away in the future. If someone else comes, the whole world will be in crisis. What I have to do now is to protect the tailed beast. Of course, strengthening Konoha's strength is also one of the points. I didn't intend to let you find out, but now that you already know, I won't lie. I will definitely take the three-tailed beast away today, and no one can stop me. Tianyu looked at Terumi and said lightly. The Terumi in front of him was as beautiful as Tsunade. But she was a few times less tough than Tsunade. Tianyu, don't you think you are too domineering? The three-tailed beast was already allocated in the beginning and belonged to the Mist Village. When Terumi heard this, she was stunned for a moment, and still wanted to continue to fight for it. The three-tailed beast is an indispensable and important resource for the Mist Village. If it disappears, it will be a huge blow to the Mist Village. That was what happened in the past, and now it should be redistributed, and this time the ownership of the three-tailed beast belongs to Konoha. Tianyu looked at Terumi and said, if that's the case, I will stop you even if I die. Terumi looked at Tianyu and no longer hesitated. She took a posture ready to fight. You can try it. If you do it, I guarantee that you will die miserably. Tianyu looked at Terumi coldly. You. Terumi looked at Tianyu, and when he wanted to perform ninjutsu, his whole body trembled. Because she felt the chakra pressure from Tianyu. It was a trembling power. She couldn't help but want to surrender. And Terumi also knew that if she took action, there was a great possibility that she would die here directly. Then what do you want to do? I absolutely can't watch you take away the three-tailed beast. Meidarumi's voice was a little tearful. Although she couldn't beat Tianyu, the three-tailed beast was also extremely important to the Mist Village. This was simply a difficult puzzle to solve. Let's do this. As compensation, Konoha will help the Mist Village. What you want to increase is just the power of a shadow level. I can give you this power. Tianyu looked at Meidarumi and said. What did you say? Meidarumi was stunned when she heard this. It seemed that she didn't expect Tianyu to change her tone. The current Konoha is actually not lacking in strength. I need the tailed beasts just to complete my plan and prevent the conspiracy from succeeding. As long as you give me the tailed beasts, Konoha now has a special scroll called the Scroll of Life. Using the power of this scroll, you can revive a dead person, although the current power of this Scroll of Life can only revive a person who has just died. It is impossible to pull the soul of a person who has died a long time ago back from the Pure Land, but this scroll is still being improved, and it will definitely be able to do that in the future. As long as I give you this scroll, you can revive the former Mizukage. Their power is enough to protect the village. Tianyu looked at Meidarumi and said. There is still such power. Meidarumi was a little surprised when she heard this, because she really didn't understand that there was such a power in this world. Resurrecting the dead. This is already a forbidden technique. Yes, the ninja world is so big. If you only care about those traditional ninjutsu, you can only sit in a well and watch the world. If you agree, Konoha will also send you some resources. After the Mist Village has experienced a blood mist method, it should be in urgent need of some resources. In addition, the bridge of Wave Country has been repaired, and it can compete with Water Country in trade. As a port where ships have to pass through, it will also take away a lot of your business. The income of Water Country will decrease, and the resources from Mist Village will naturally decrease. But Konoha can give you these things. As long as you agree, the resources will be delivered in a few days, and the Scroll of Life can also be given to you immediately when the research is completed. Tianyu looked at Terumi Mei and smiled. Terumi Mei was indeed a little moved when she heard this. A tailed beast that is not controlled at all in a very powerful Mizukage. Anyone knows which one to choose. Not to mention that there are resources to be obtained after the choice. What Terumi Mei is most worried about now is whether this Scroll of Life is useful. If this is just a lie Tianyu used to deceive them, then it is not worth it. Don't worry, if you want to know about the Scroll of Life, you can go to the Sands Village to ask. After all, their current 5th generation Kazakage guard was saved by me using the Scroll of Life. Chapter 348 Trading Three Tails. Tianyu used Gaara's personal experience without hesitation. Since then, Terumi Mei has never doubted Tianyu again. Okay, I promise you, but I also want you to promise that Konoha will never attack the Mist Village. Terumi Mei nodded, but did not forget to give the Mist Village an insurance. After all, in the current situation, Konoha is the only one. The god of ninjas, Senju Hashirama, is still active in Konoha. As long as he takes action, not to mention a village, even a country can be destroyed. Tianyu is the same. I promise you, as long as the Mist Village does not commit suicide and attack Konoha, then Konoha will not attack the Mist Village. Tianyu smiled and said lightly. Although Tianyu's words seemed to have agreed to Terumi Mei, in fact, there has been room for maneuver. After all, although Konoha will not attack the Mist Village, if the Mist Village wants to attack Konoha, then they will certainly fight back. And the most important thing is that if the Mist Village wants to surrender to Konoha, Tianyu naturally welcomes it with both hands. Okay. Meidarumi nodded. Then she gave up her seat. No longer concerned about the three tails. Seeing that the matter was dealt with, Tianyu directly put the three into the scroll. In the bushes. Deidara and Scorpion looked at this scene with solemn faces. I originally thought that there would be a big battle between the two of them, but I didn't expect Tianyu to convince Meidarumi with just a few words. Now it looks like we can't get the three tails at all. Deidara felt a little regretful. Not getting the three tails was still a small matter. He would be punished by Uchiha Madara after returning, which was the most uncomfortable for him. This is fate, let's go. Since there is no hope, there is no need to stay here any longer. Scorpion shook his head after hearing this. He turned around and was about to take Deidara away. However, the next moment something unexpected happened. Countless ice walls appeared around them. These ice walls formed a barrier that enveloped the entire lake. This sudden scene made Deidara and Scorpion look solemn. Then the two of them looked at Tianyu in the bushes. But they found that Tianyu was folding his arms and looking at them with a playful look. Obviously, Tianyu probably knew that they were in the bushes. Tianyu had been waiting for them to make a move. And now, when they wanted to leave, the prison raised the barrier around them. Trapped them. What's going on? Madarumi was stunned when she saw the barrier rising around her. She thought Tianyu was going to regret attacking him. Nothing, Mizukage. I want to invite you to watch a good show now, so the two of you who are performing this good show, please come out. Don't let me do it myself, otherwise you two are likely to be injured, and then how can this good show continue? Tianyu said with a smile. The meaning of this sentence is already very clear, it is targeting Deidara and Scorpion. After hearing this person was terrified. What should we do? Should we go out? Deidara couldn't make up his mind. If they go out now, they will most likely die Tianyu's hands. Last time, they had Gaara as a hostage, and they released the one tail at the first opportunity, causing some trouble for Tengo, and then they were able to get away. But now, they don't have any bargaining chips in their hands, let alone hostages, and even the tailed beasts are gone. In addition, the surroundings have long been covered by barriers. Even if they want to leave, it will probably be difficult. Let's go. Things have come to this point. We can't end it if we don't want to go out. If today is destined to be the day we die, why not die in a blaze of glory? The red sand scorpion smiled coldly. Then he walked out of the bushes without hesitation. Long time no see, Tengo of Konoha. The red sand scorpion looked at Tengo. Seeing that the red sand scorpion had taken the initiative to walk out, Deidara had no choice but to follow him out. After all, their hiding place has been revealed. There is no point in continuing to hide. In addition, the barriers around them have long blocked their retreat. It's been a long time since we last met, Scorpion of the Red Sand, and Deidara. I didn't expect that you would come here this time to capture the three tails. It's really a coincidence. Tianyu looked at the two people and smiled. Yes, it's indeed a coincidence. Scorpion of the Red Sand nodded. Tianyu, if you have the guts, just kill us. Don't keep talking to us like this. Deidara couldn't help but say it. After all, they were standing here talking to Tianyu. It was like a knife hanging over their heads, ready to fall at any time. It made him feel uneasy. Why do you say that? This is the second time we have met, and it's also a fate. So why do we have to fight right away? Tianyu looked at Deidara and couldn't help laughing. This guy is just impatient. He has to do everything so quickly. In fact, Tianyu didn't intend to kill them. Although these two people are in the Akatsuki organization, their nature is not too bad. Deidara wanted to defeat Uchiha with all his heart, while Scorpion of the Red Sand longed for eternity. He wanted his parents to come back to life. Therefore, he did many wrong things. He even made some people into living puppets. Because in this way, these people can accompany him forever. They will not disappear in an instant like the lives of living people. If you don't intend to kill us, then let us go. Scorpion of the Red Sand looked at Tianyu and said. It may not work to let you go. Tianyu smiled. You don't want to kill us or let us go, so what do you want to do? Scorpion of the Red Sand was very curious. Tianyu's actions were always against the Akatsuki organization. But every time he didn't seem to kill them all. Especially Hoshigaki Kisame. That guy even defected to Konoha. Konoha didn't even pursue this. This is indeed a bit confusing. After all, when you become a traitor and are sentenced to the village, if you are caught by the village, there is only one end. And that end is death. No one can escape such a fate. Maybe we can sit down and talk calmly. Tianyu said with a smile. Impossible, it's impossible for us to do that. Deidara refused without hesitation. And Scorpion didn't say a word. He just looked at Tianyu with disbelief. Chapter 349 discovered. Deidara was a bit confused for a moment, because he seemed to have no idea what Tianyu was thinking. They were almost mortal enemies. But they had to sit down and have a good talk. To be honest, he really couldn't understand what Tianyu was thinking. Could this be the brain circuit of a big shot? Don't be so sure, Deidara. I remember that your initial wish to join the Akatsuki organization was to compete with Uchiha again. You wanted to prove that your strength was not inferior to that of the Uchiha clan. At the same time, You also worked hard to improve your resistance to illusions, hoping to use it to resist the Sharingan. Am I right? Tianyu looked at Deidara and smiled. You are right, but so what? Deidara frowned. He began to be on guard. Because he didn't know if Tianyu would attack them from behind. Uchiha Itachi is now in Konoha, recovering from his injuries in Konoha. If you want, you can go to Konoha to challenge Uchiha Itachi and prove yourself. Tianyu said with a smile. What did you say? You found Uchiha Itachi, he is in Konoha. Hearing this, Deidara jumped up instantly. It can be said that half of his purpose in joining the Akatsuki organization was to defeat Uchiha Itachi. After hearing the news about Uchiha Itachi, he couldn't help but question. That's right. Okay, then I must go to Konoha and have a competition with him. I must make that guy admit that the Sharingan is nothing great. Deidara was going to Konoha to compete with Uchiha Itachi on the spot. After hearing this, the Red Sand Scorpion looked at Deidara deeply. He had some doubts about Deidara's IQ. This guy, no wonder he was fooled by a few words. Such an IQ is really touching. Deidara, don't forget you. Red Sand Scorpion, I know your biggest wish should be to revive your parents, because your parents died in the war when you were young, so you have grown up without feeling the love of your parents. Now Konoha or Orochimaru is studying a kind of ability. Such an ability can make the dead return to this world again. If you want, I can help you bring your parents back to this world at any time, and you can enjoy the love of your parents who have lost them. Tianyu said with a smile. What? Tianyu's words successfully shocked Red Sand Scorpion. Resurrect the dead again. Is there really such a power in this world? If my parents can come back to me, of course I am willing, but I also know that there is no free lunch in the world. Now, what do you want me to do? Just help you kill people, or help you gather intelligence or occupy other territories? Red Sand Scorpion asked anxiously. I don't need any of that. I just need you to come back to Konoha with me. If possible, I would also like you to submit to Konoha. After all, Akatsuki is not a right path. If you continue to follow that organization, you will be destroyed sooner or later. You are not bad by nature, but you just went astray because of some things. Tianyu wanted to bring Deidara and Scorpion to Konoha. In this way, the two of them can also escape the fate of death in the original work. At the same time, they can also give themselves a good ending. How to say these two people, Tianyu still likes them more. He doesn't want to watch them go to destruction like this. I see, there is really no free dinner in this world. So this is your idea. Scorpion looked at Tianyu and couldn't help laughing. Taking them into Konoha will indeed enhance Konoha's combat effectiveness. Scorpion really can't figure out these things. Why did Tianyu do this? They should be enemies. That's right. If you want to gain, you have to pay. You make your own choice. If you choose to join me, then we will be friends in the future. You can get the best ending in Konoha and be with your parents. But if you refuse, then we will be enemies. At this point, Tianyu took out the ice ring pill and held it in his hand. Then let's do it directly, but you will definitely die in my hands, because I will not show mercy. Tianyu said directly. I chose to go to Konoha with you at that time. I want to defeat Uchiha. Deidara chose to leave with Tianyu without hesitation. And after thinking for a moment, the Red Sand Scorpion also agreed to Tianyu's words. Okay, the two of us will go back to Konoha with you. They both agreed to Tianyu's request. This made Madarumi, who was standing aside, a little surprised. She was able to get the Scroll of Life and Konoha's supplies, all of which were exchanged for the Three Tails. But the two men in front of him were able to get the Scroll of Life by themselves. I have to say, this is really a joke. If you want to go back to Konoha, you can temporarily come to the Mist Village to rest and tell everyone in the village about the conditions we mentioned before. Madarumi looked at Tianyu and said, Okay. Tianyu nodded directly. Then he directly removed the barrier around him. Giorn, you take Yukimaru back first and take good care of him. His body is quite special, but don't worry, when I find a new Jinchuriki for the Three Tails, his life will be out of danger. Sakura, you stay to protect Giorn and Yukimaru. Tianyu looked at Sakura and said to Giorn and Yukimaru. Yes. Sakura nodded. After giving this order, he brought Naruto, Kakashi, Deidara, and the others to the Mist Village. Mizuki-sama, what happened in the lake? Is the Three Tails okay? Queen and Chidro asked impatiently when they saw Madarumi coming back. But when they saw Tianyu following behind Madarumi, They were stunned again. What is this? Qing looked at Tianyu, and cold sweats began to appear on his back. Because he found that he could not see through Tianyu's strength at all. Even if Tianyu did not release his own strength at all, he could feel the dormant tyrannical aura under his strong body. There were also two people wearing red cloud robes following him. One of them should be Deidara, who was on the wanted list of rebel ninjas in the Rock Village, and the other should be Scorpion of the Red Sand, who was on the wanted list of the Sand Village. These two people are both S-level rebel ninjas. They are powerful and extremely dangerous. The masked man next to him is the copy ninja Kakashi. His strength is quite strong. Chapter 350, Allegiance to Konoha. The blonde kid beside him is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. So now he seems to be weak and immature. But he will be very strong in the future. The Tianyu in front of him brought these people to the Mist Village. We don't know what the purpose is yet, so they must be careful. These are distinguished guests from the Mist Village. You two go down and clean up and make a house for them to live in. Lord Tianyu, let your subordinates rest. Now it's time for us to talk. Madarumi looked at Tianyu and couldn't help but say, "Okay." Tianyu nodded. Let Kakashi and Naruto leave first. As for Deidara and Scorpion of the Red Sand, Tianyu was not worried that they would attack Kakashi and Naruto. After all, Kakashi was not easy to mess with. After relearning the family swordsmanship, Kakashi is now a world apart from before. And Naruto's strength has greatly improved. If anyone underestimates Naruto because of his age, he will undoubtedly suffer a great loss. After everyone left, Tianyu returned to the Mizukage's office with Madarumi, Chijiro, and Ao. After Madarumi came in, she told Chijiro and Ao the conditions Tianyu had set. "Mizukage-sama, this is absolutely not possible. The Three Tails belongs to the Mist Village and cannot be given to others. What's more, the Scroll of Life has not been successfully developed yet. It can only revive people who have died recently. But the fourth Mizukage, Shikara, has already died, not to mention the third Mizukage, or even the previous ones. They can't be resurrected at all. Then, if we get this Scroll of Life, it will be useless. On the contrary, after losing the Three Tails, the strength of our Mist Village will decline rapidly, so I strongly disagree." Ao refused directly. But I think this plan is very good. In this way, our Mist Village can also rise quickly. The selection of the 7 ninja swordsmen has not been completed yet. Although this Scroll of Life cannot revive the previous people for the time being, it will undoubtedly give the Mizukage-sama an extra life. In addition, Konoha has also promised to give us supplies, which is the most scarce thing for us now. I think there's nothing wrong with this plan. And don't forget, we selected children in the village who could become the Three Tails Jinchuriki before, but they were not qualified. Their chakra was not enough to suppress the Three Tails, so even if we don't use the Three Tails to exchange, we can't use the power of the Three Tails now. Chijiro looked at Qing and directly refuted his meaning. But Qing wanted to say something else. But he was interrupted by Madarumi. "No need to say more. What I said before is my decision, not my discussion with you. From now on, Konoha's resources will be continuously sent to the Mist Village. What you need to consider is how we can use these resources to make ourselves stronger. Instead of arguing here about the ownership of the tailed beasts are indeed powerful, but the most urgent task is to train our own ninjas. Otherwise, we will not be able to keep the tailed beasts." The last sentence can be said to be the heart-wrenching words of Terumi Mei. Whether it is Chijiro or Ao, their faces turned pale after hearing this. Of course, they knew what Terumi Mei meant by this sentence. Tianyu's strength is so strong. Even if he does not bring Konoha's ninja army, just relying on the few people he has in the Mist Village now, it is enough to turn the Mist Village upside down. Yes, Mizukage-sama, we will definitely find a way to use this batch of supplies. Ao and Chijiro nodded together. Very good, go. Terumi Mei was very relieved. The two left the Mizukage's office. "Sir, I'm sorry to have embarrassed you, Aim-sama." Madarumi smiled sheepishly. "Nothing, but I can see that you have the final say in the Mist Village. This is indeed a good sign. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. If you have any questions about this matter, you can come to me. The supplies I give you will be what you urgently need." "Okay, I'll take you there." Madarumi was delighted to hear this. She sent Tianyu out directly. In the inn of the Mist Village. This inn is where the Mist Village receives distinguished guests. The environment is beautiful and all kinds of facilities are complete. Maybe Naruto was really tired, and he fell asleep directly after arriving in the room. Deidara and Scorpion were standing aside and talking boredly. As for Kakashi, he sat at the door, holding the intimate paradise in his hand, reading with relish. However, it seemed that his attention was all on the book, but in fact he still kept some attention on monitoring Deidara and Scorpion. This is also Kakashi's habit. There is nothing wrong with being cautious after all. Lord Tianyu, you are back, how was the talk? Kakashi asked immediately when he saw Tianyu coming back. It's okay, the talk was good, and we didn't break down after all. Tianyu smiled and said. That's good. Hearing this, Kakashi finally put down the big stone in his heart. Everyone talked for a while. Dinner was served in the Mist Village. After dinner, they went to rest. Tianyu and the others finally stayed in the Mist Village for 5 days, and solved a lot of things here before finally returning to Konoha. After Naruto and Kakashi reported the news, Tianyu brought Deidara and Akashi to meet Tsunade. Tianyu, you said you would give me a surprise, but I didn't expect this surprise would turn into a scare. Why did you bring 2 people from the Akatsuki organization to Konoha? Tsunade looked at Deidara and Akashi with a look of shock on her face. After all, the Akatsuki organization and they are enemies. It is indeed a surprise, because the 2 of them have decided to join Konoha now. Tianyu said to Tsunade with a smile. What? Hearing this, Tsunade was a little surprised. He really didn't expect that these 2 people would actually join Konoha. Same as Hoshigaki Kisame? And how did you do it? Tsunade couldn't help asking. Yes, they don't have to be treated the same way as Hoshigaki Kisame before, just let them do something within their ability. Of course, before they gain our trust, they can be monitored by the Anbu. As for how I did it, it's a secret. Tianyu said while looking at Tsunade. He was not afraid at all that Deidara and Scorpion would hear this. After all, even Deidara and Scorpion would not say much if they heard it. Because if it were them, they would do the same as Tianyu. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.